and get food.
You know, I have a little.
We've eaten at Generations already.
We ate at Ponderosa.
All right, hey, welcome everybody. This is like, I don't know what we call this, like a what we call this. I was going to say anniversary, but
yes,
it's not really anniversary show.
Special edition. That sounded
Special
good.
edition, or I don't know what we want to call it. Corona update from the morning show. I don't know.
That's good. Well, anybody bring their face mask?
Tuesdays always used to be pretty wild.
Tuesday,
no.
Kim. Anytime you were here, it was pretty wild.
That's what I meant.
That's what made it fun. That's what made it fun.
Oh man, my wife just got me good.
Well, good.
Tiny bubbles.
Okay.
Don Ho.
Just stay over there if you got tiny bubbles coming out anywhere. Okay. Now let's introduce everybody. First of all, we have the wonderful, wild Don Ho, Bill Mahanes down here today. In the middle, I'm feeling the heat from the wrestling genre. We have the Heat Wave.
It's here.
Daryl Heater. Over here, the one beautiful thing we have with this group. I mean, it's like Kim and the Three Bears here. Anyhow, we have comrade Kim Michael. There we go. You still go by what do you go by now? You still in the witness? You still in the witness protection program or what?
I'll never tell.
You'll never tell. Now, I'm Charlie Hargrave, in case you didn't know, and for all my haters out there, I love you too. That's all I got to say. All right. Now, I tell you what, we've had the Corona stuff going on, and I don't want to beat on this the whole time, but I want to start out with a question for each of you, and it's the same question, but and no offense, Kim, I think you'll agree with me here.
Okay.
I think we really have two heroes sitting with us today of the coronavirus. And I'm saying this in all sincerity because heat wave, how many days of work have you missed since Corona?
I'm on the front lines.
How many days have you missed?
I haven't missed any.
Hasn't missed any. And Mr. Mahanes, how many days have you missed? None. And I tell you, if heat wave, let me start with you, and then we'll go to Bill, and then we'll go to Kim. Okay. I haven't worked at all, and I've told people this, and I'll say it on here publicly. My bank account's at the lowest point it's been since I've retired because I substitute taught and I DJ, and both my main job and my side job are gone. Now, yeah, I get retirement every month, but I knew that wasn't going to be enough to live on. So right now, I mean, that's like, ooh, if we don't get some more stimulus money, my butt's in trouble.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
But I want to get everybody's perspective, but I'm going to ask it kind of in a different way. Heat wave, how have people been? And tell everybody what you do, and just give us like a minute or so of what you've been going through.
I've been going through a lot. I mean, I work at Circle Work Kroger's, and I'm a cashier, as everyone knows, and I do some stocking also. But it's been hectic for all of us employees because we have to, people shopping in the store, you're only in there for like 30 minutes with your mask on. We're in there, we're in our whole shift. You know what I mean? I mean, there has to be a time for us employees to breathe. We have to take some of it, take it off a little bit for us to breathe.
At Kroger's, is it mandatory to wear a mask?
Yes, it is.
As a customer.
It is. No,
not as a
customer, no.
Okay.
But as an employee, it is. But we have to breathe ourselves, too. We can't just leave that mask on the whole entire shift. I mean, because a lot of people get all upset, why are your mask on? It's on you, but it's not on you. But we have to breathe like everyone else has to breathe. We can't keep it on.
Well, there's been reports of people getting overheated, having car wrecks because they have their mask on in their car.
Why are they wearing it in their car?
Yeah.
Well, okay, wait a minute. I do have the answer for that.
Oh,
because if they're in their car by themselves, that's dumb.
Okay, that's
But
what
if
I'm talking
if there's other people in the car with them,
That
that
they
would.
possibly
Yeah,
habitate
because
with, so do they wear masks at home with their people inside their own
I think
house?
it depends on their ages and if they're in that high risk group or if they're like a little. Yeah, if I had a little baby,
be serious.
if I had a little baby
All
right
right, a
now,
baby.
I definitely would be wearing one. But I don't have a little baby.
And wouldn't let anybody touch it, come near it.
Yeah,
I agree
yeah.
with that.
That's what I mean. I think
would that anyways, though, really.
I think there's some instances where you would. Now he waved, but let me ask you this now. How have the people been? Are they still pretty friendly, or are they more short, or do you have more complaints now? I mean, has there been a difference that you've noticed?
Well, I have noticed a lot of difference. I was on the self-checkout one time, okay? And sometimes it's hard to be 6 feet away from somebody
Sure.
when you're trying to help somebody. Well, this lady had her mask on and gloves. I don't know why they wear gloves, because billions and billions of germs are on those gloves. No matter if you're on that steering wheel, picking up stuff off the shelf, and handling money and card. I mean, there's more germs on your gloves than it is on your hands. As long as you wash your hands with hand soap and water, keep away from your face and mouth, you're good to go. But this lady looked at me and wanted my help. So I came over, get away from me, get away from me. I'm like,
geez.
yeah. She had her gloves on and a mask on. She said, get away from me, get away from me. My co-manager heard her say that. And then I helped her. And then I went back, and then she looked at me again, wanted help. And I told my co-manager, I'm like, I'm not going to go over there and help her. She's on her own. I mean, if she don't want someone around her, I mean, yeah, if we don't want someone around you, I'm not going to help her. Well, my co-manager came to her and said, you need to back off to where my employee can help you. People are really, she should have just stayed home or do it online, grocery shopping. But, man, she was just really, really into that.
Yep. Well, I was just curious because I know personally I'm getting shorter with people. I'm almost as bad as Cindy now. No, I'm just kidding. But you're so cooped up, and you can only put up with so much dumb butt in your life, And when you get that, it's like, sorry, And when people ask me questions they already know the answers to, I'm like, I have no. What's the word I'm looking for? No couth, no. I just give it to them. No filter, yeah.
No
I just
filter.
give it to them. But Heat Wave, I appreciate your insight on that because a
you're
lot of people
welcome.
don't understand, what you guys are going through and wearing his mask
We are
all
going
the
through a lot,
time.
yeah. For 8 hours, I mean, you can't.
You
just
can't
have
wear it.
I couldn't do it.
No,
I
I
think,
couldn't.
I think about that, yeah. Like all
I
these,
couldn't. And you know what? I had a mask out to bring today, but like normal, when I get ready to bring my mask somewhere, I inevitably forget it.
I've worn mine
Yeah.
one time, and the only reason I have one is because I had to take some people to court, and I had to wear it to be let into court. I've worn
Right.
it one time, and that's the only time I'm going to wear
Well-
it. If somebody starts telling me I got to wear it, forget it, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Well,
Solidarity.
Well, and here's the other thing. With that, the mask thing, I did take it. I had an eye doctor's appointment last Tuesday, and I brought the mask because it's a doctor's office. I figured I would have to wear it, and I said, now I've got this. If you want me to wear it, I don't have a problem with it. I didn't have it on. She said, no, actually, it gets in the way when we do exams, so don't worry about it. So she said, and no one, I think maybe the people helping her had masks on, but that was it. So, but yeah, and I don't know. I'm not going to say where it was because they probably aren't doing everything up to code. But anyhow, Bill, now I tell you what, I am very curious to hear your answer here, and I want you to expound. If it takes 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, I don't care. But Bill Mahanes is a truck driver for Schneider Trucking. Bill, do me a favor. Even though you got quite a mug on you, look up. We just keep seeing the top of your head. We want to see that big old burly face. There he is.
Looking at you instead of
Yeah, look up. Look, there you go. Look up. There you
It's
go.
hard to talk and not look at something.
Yeah, well, here we go. Bill's a truck driver. Since this thing started, just approximately, how many different states have you driven in? Just approximately.
Basically, the whole East Coast.
The whole East Coast. All right, I'm just going to set my mic down for a few minutes and listen. I'd like for you to tell everybody that does not get out and about in the other states what you've run into in the other states and how different states are treating this. Sure. 7 minutes. We're going to take a break. So, Bill, if you need all 7, knock yourself out. But if you don't, don't go. It's okay
All
either
right.
way.
Well, thank you, Charlie. Like Charlie said, I'm an over-road truck driver. We've been sitting here running, well, some of us is called the golden roll, the toilet paper. What shortage was there? It was because everybody believed everything on Facebook telling, oh, you got to have toilet paper. You got to have toilet paper. The toilet paper wasn't nothing because the coronavirus is actually an upper respiratory, not the other. So everybody got hoarding up the toilet paper. So here we are trying to catch up with that. Well, with this, the states that got real crazy shut down the rest areas. When they shut down the rest areas, the truck drivers don't have no place to stop. Well, the restrooms that were open, the toilet paper was gone. So that was one of the things that we actually had to deal with. I mean, everybody's laughing and snickering, I know that. But an over-road truck driver, got to have a place to stop and do their business. And eat. A lot of the truck stops across the country were closed. We couldn't go in and eat. We actually had, a lot of us has learned how to cook in our trucks. Thank God some of our trucking companies actually had power inverters put in our trucks. We ordered them, and that way we were able to do the cooking in our trucks. Well, we actually had some, as Rick said about burning your truck down, there was trucks that improper wired, improper power inverters in their trucks, and the trucks burnt. Right down to the ground, which that was another load of possibly toilet paper burning down. You've seen that on the internet where they showed pictures of that. But we did have a lot of people out here that did come up and start putting signs up. Hey, we support our truck drivers. Actually started serving free, giving a lunch thing. It was nice of them. But a lot of the places that just, they was just like, get out of our way. But I did post a few pictures out here on my webpage, on the Facebook, of being out on the interstate. No four-wheelers. Nobody to cut us off. Oh, man, it was heaven for the truckers because we didn't have to worry about somebody being on their cell phone driving down the road and cutting us off or swerving into us. That was the only thing that I actually loved. But it's still a madhouse out here.
Can you get into, like where I led you with the question, different states? Give everybody a taste, because we only know what we're having to deal with here.
Well,
give people a taste of the different states.
Pennsylvania, they actually put a ban where they closed the rest areas. They issued about the face mask. If you do not have a face mask, when you walk into a business, $1,000 fines. And they were enforcing them. And people's like, you got to be kidding. That was in Pennsylvania. New Jersey was cracking down like that kind of stuff. And we actually had places that said we could not park in their parking lots because we didn't have no place to park or get any food. It was, it's pretty nasty out here. We've actually up in Michigan right now, it's a hot spot. And we got people asking us if we have to go into the hot spots. And we go into the hot spots, we're actually sitting here going in. They take our temperature before we even make a delivery. If your temperature is over 100.4. They will not let us in to make the delivery. A lot of the states. Everybody praises Walmart for being here, for making deliveries and things. But they're one of the hot spots of asking if our temperature's 104. And they just, they're actually cracking down on us just to make deliveries. And people just don't realize how much the trucker goes through. We have to, we're actually logging different. If we get a critical load of face mask and things, we go right straight through.
How about New York? You been to New York since this has happened?
Went through the state of New York, but everything was fairly decent. We didn't have no problem. But like I said, they closed down the rest areas. What's the toughest state, Pennsylvania? Right now, the toughest state was Pennsylvania. We get down into the Carolinas, it's like nothing ever happened. And we actually was going on with that. And
yeah, they're still in 2019.
oh yeah, Rick's having his fun with it. But a lot of people just don't realize, like the over-road truckers. I got a friend of mine who runs out to the West Coast. He's running east-west. He's hauling chicken. And it's critical, and they have to go. And they're actually seeing where they're plowing vegetables down and in the ground, and it's really bad about this. But, it's stuff that, because all the restaurants were closed, they couldn't sell nothing.
Well, and on that note, we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes. We have to take a little break. We'll still be here on Facebook Live, but we need to take a break for... All right, we're back, and we appreciate everybody hanging in there with us. You guys are watching us on Facebook. Please share the show. Share the show. Let's get the word back out that we're back at least for today. I don't know how much longer, but we're here for today. Anyhow, Rick had a question, and that's a good question, so let's go to it next. He said, it's been 2 years since we've done this. All last year we didn't do it. Our last show was in like June, I think, of 2018. So if you guys don't mind, what you been doing the last couple of years, Kim?
I've been going to school. That's what I've been doing. I've been going to school, moved to Oklahoma last summer for a little while, and Still would have been there, but we had a little bit of a nightmare back at home with a couple of rental properties, and we'll just try to leave it there. So we had to come back home, and so
Your house in Sabine's looking good, though.
thank you very much.
It is. It's looking good.
Thank you very much.
I haven't been
Leah.
out by the one in the country, but the one in Sabina is looking real good.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, because it was a step above a hovel when I got back to it. And we'll
Yeah.
just leave it at that. But we have been working
I
really, really
understand.
hard at it. And we've been there about, 3-4 months now. And oh my goodness, it's finally starting to feel all homey. And
Yeah. Looks
I like
good.
it. Thank you
Looks
very much.
good.
Just in school, keeping my
Now,
nose in the books.
But now,
There you
I'm kind of joking with you, but not really.
Okay.
What are we studying now?
I'm still going for my master's degree, and it is in human rights.
But it was law before.
No.
I thought you were studying to be a lawyer.
I want to be a lawyer, but I'm getting my master's degree first, and
Okay.
I'm getting it in legal studies, and it's in the human rights is my
Okay.
and especially international human rights and genocide, that whole social justice thing that I'm all about. That's what that major is geared to.
That's no problem.
And then I still, but the more I've sat and thought about it, I'm not sure if I want to litigate. I honestly think I might like to be a professor and teach the law instead of argue the law,
Yeah.
Because I love constitutional law, and I just, so either way, I think Dr. Michael is going to be in the future for sure. Either it's going to be a PhD or a Juris Doctor, but one or the other, it's going to be Dr. Michael.
That's cool. That's cool. But then maybe I just dreamt this. Were you selling real estate too, or
I have
something?
my real estate license.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you've
Mhm. And,
studied it
yes,
in the last
I have
year or
it,
two.
And I'm also a notary if you need that done.
Notary. There you go. Notary also.
Yes,
okay.
I have my real estate license. And, I haven't been using it, though. I've got it hung up right now because this is insane. Virtual appointments and all of this.
I don't know. I tell you, interest rates down. I think I'd be trying to sell right now,
Well, and
personally.
with all the social distancing and all, everything, the office is closed down. So I just backed away from that, and I'm just focused 100% on school right now. But I'm keeping my license active by doing my continuing education. That way,
Right.
if I want to pick it back up at a later time, I can. Because I worked hard to get it, so I don't want to lose the license.
No. Not at all.
And I'll tell you what, real estate and law, there's a lot to learn in both. Those worlds cross a lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, you can be, a lot of lawyers just do that. They do like, property,
Mm-hmm. Right.
where lands
That's what I'm
divide
saying.
and stuff.
I'm not so sure litigation is where I want to be, but, because I like to be in the paper end.
I see you, and I mean this with all sincerity. I'm not trying to be a butt.
Oh, no.
I see you as like an Erin Brockovich, but she wasn't a
Is that a
lawyer.
fact? She wasn't
she-
at first, but
yeah,
that's what
she-
inspired her to be. She is
Right, but she was
No,
she worked in the
she
law
worked in-
office,
yeah,
but what they
that's
call it, paralegal or
yeah,
something.
that's how she got the job, but she'd never had any
But
experience.
she
and
stirred people up,
Right.
and I can
And
see
I
you
take that
doing
as an
that.
actual compliment. because I
Yeah,
think
well,
she's-
it was meant
that's-
that way.
Thank you.
It was meant that way, but I didn't want you to take it the wrong
That's
way.
kind of how I would like
Sometimes.
to envision myself when I want to be when I grow up.
When you grow up,
Yeah.
When you grow up,
hey,
I haven't decided when that's going to be.
that's a wonderful thing about the mind. The mind is always growing up, even though the body says, "Tell you talking about Willis."
I have been reminded. This year, strangely enough, I'm 42 and I have been faced with my own mortality. You know what I mean? Like if things pop, things crack, things hurt, and they don't stop.
Oh, that's so
My
open.
eyes are.
I'm not going there. It's so open. I'm
What
not
do
going to
you
go
mean?
there.
open.
Oh, good grief.
I'm not going there.
Shame on you, Bill.
I'm not going there.
My mind is
Leave
going
it to
way.
We didn't call you Wild Bill for nothing.
You are what you eat.
I'll tell you something. In all honesty, this quote unquote quarantine lockdown hasn't really affected me at all because I stay at home. I really am a homebody. I'm on the computer. I'm it hasn't affected my life. The only thing the toilet paper, like he was talking about, when this first started happening, I didn't even know what was going on. I thought it was some real bad joke. I'm like, all right, somebody's got to let me in on this. And then I swear they had security guards guarding toilet paper aisles at Walmart.
Yeah.
Swear. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, people are going to get
Well-
for it, but it's like walking in
Now, do you,
to Nazi
you
Germany.
know why they're buying all that, don't you?
I do not.
You
Weren't
go out
buying this
online,
before?
you put in toilet paper, people are selling it for $100 for 4 rolls.
Well,
They're
Let's
taking
just put down
advantage.
the
No,
Hold
thing.
on.
they went
Who
online and
doesn't
turned
have enough
around.
toilet paper?
Yeah,
Who
that's-
wasn't already
Time-
buying
That's what they're
toilet
doing.
paper?
Time out.
That's what they're doing.
Time out.
Mass
Time out.
hysteria?
Time out. Time out. Here is the reason.
things?
No, I'm getting ready to tell you why. When this shutdown occurred, no one realized what it was going to be for sure. And to be honest with you, the government still doesn't know what it's going to be for sure. But they, people were talking martial law. You go out of your house, you might get arrested. And
That's basically what's going on in Michigan.
well, and that's kind of what's going on. They just haven't called it that, and plus they're not. You saw you in your mind, you do think of movies, and you think of the National Guard coming in and not letting people out.
You mean like the Dustin Hoffman movie?
Right,
Red
right.
Dawn?
Red Dawn was one, but Outbreak, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
This is like something out of the movies. The world has lost its mind.
it has. It
Well,
has.
it's just
Exactly.
like I have audio books that I listen to.
He can't read, so he has to listen to them.
Yeah, I listen to an audio book. It's a lot easier than.
Rick is loving that Kim's a socialist.
That is definitely what I'm
All right.
solidarity and I am against is what it is. Toilet paper.
All right, but that's why toilet paper, and that's why food too. Because if you can't go out and get it,
They hoard it all.
In all, yes.
Well, I
all
like
these panic buyers
what
and
some of the
stuff,
stores have told.
limiting what you can buy. How does that not equate to rations?
Want to know something? Hamburger went up 50%. I'm
I
going to let
believe
you
it.
know right
Oh,
now.
did you hear what
Yeah.
the doctor here locally went and done? He donated hogs to be butchered and be sold at a local grocery store right here in the community.
that's cool.
That is nice.
Here in Jeffersonville or Jamestown. Okay.
But like I said, him and a local farmer even done cows. That way we got fresh beef, because a lot of this stuff is just being blowed out of proportion.
It is.
Well, let's
Panic buyers.
wait a minute. Stop.
Well, it's just
stop. I said we weren't going to get into that much. I wanted to hear your own personal perspectives,
Yeah.
and we can argue more about that later. But the question at hand right now is what you've been doing the last 2 years. Kim has answered. Heat wave last 2 years. Any big changes?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, no, not really. I mean,
The-
working my job and taking care of my mom.
And your NWA is no longer. You're now with a new
IWA.
IWA. Yeah, and now
Yeah.
you're with
RPW, Revolution Pro Wrestling.
Revolution Pro.
Huh?
When's it going to start back up?
Huh?
When's wrestling going to start back up and all that?
Until he releases the gatherings, the governor, DeWine.
Well, that's
because
coming.
we can't have any gatherings in wrestling, I mean,
Yeah, that's coming, I think.
but
I mean,
guess what? WWE's got wrestling, but there's no crowds. And the reason why that is because Vince McMahon's wife works for this guy right here.
well, but also it's like NASCAR. A lot of the money they make, they can make some money off the fans being there, but it's all advertising,
Yeah.
Advertising.
TV. Yeah, it's.
But
what
it's
it
hard.
is.
You can buy T-shirts, all that stuff.
Yeah, but it's hard to watch wrestling because you watch it on TV. Don't get me wrong, but there's no fans out there. I mean, it's entertainment, but without the fans, I mean, it's different.
It's dry.
Yeah, it's dry. It's dry.
All right. What about you, Bill? Last 2 years, any big differences?
Not really. I'm just sitting here just.
Not yet.
As you
That's
could-
coming, I think. No, I'm
as
just
you
kidding.
guys heard it in the back thing, did you get married and get divorced? No and no.
Well,
Rick's loading these questions in the background.
my last 2 years, I sold some life insurance for a while, which Rick said wouldn't work, and he was right. But I did it for a while. And I tell you what, I enjoyed trying to help people out. But I got tired of people that, well, yeah, I'm going to get it from you. I'm going to get the some days. And, those people just, and this has happened a couple of times. But this happened a couple of times where I actually had really good deals lined up for a couple of people, and one did die. One died, yeah. Bill Dickinson, thanks for trying to call my phone right now while we're doing Facebook Live on it. You're cool, buddy.
Bill
You're
Dickinson.
cool. I can't put him on.
I
because
even
he's
got
coming
it right
over
here.
my
It says,
phone.
well.
Bill Dickerson, hang the phone up.
Bill, don't call, Bill.
Bill Dickerson, hang the phone up. Now it's trying to reconnect. Thanks, Bill. You're cool.
You're making everything go nuts.
But anyhow, he called my phone. I sold life insurance for a while, and then but I've been substitute teaching. Still have my little office up in Sabina, but tried to DJ, but I can't DJ. Hey, Guy Durham, how you doing? But anyhow, Bill, if you want to call somebody, you call Mahaine's phone or Rick's phone.
Yeah, call Rick. Call Rick.
But anyhow,
Give it out.
that's what I've done. So, and it's been
Well, hey, you got to give us one update. How did your Valentine's car show go?
Valentine's car show went great. We had 85 cars. We've now donated $12,000 to Alzheimer's over the 11 years. Plus, I've lost about 75 pounds.
Where was this car
Yeah, I
show?
noticed
Where was
that.
this car show at?
It was in the Roberts Center.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Where at Sabina or?
No, Wilmington. Roberts
Wilmington.
Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just right here.
I'm not from Wilmington. That's
Yeah.
what I was asking.
Just actually right down 71 here, 2 exits.
Oh, okay.
Or let's see, 1, 2, 3 exits. Yeah, 3 exits.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, no, let's go ahead and we can delve into some other things here since we've all kind of talked about what we've done the last 2 years. This is a political season upon us. And, it's been an interesting watching the primary, and I'm just going to give you a couple of my thoughts, and I'd like for especially Kim to chime in. And,
Time.
here's my thoughts on the Democrats. And first of all, once again, Bernie Sanders got screwed. I am not a big Democrat fan of any, but Bernie Sanders should have got the nomination 4 years ago. Should have got the nomination. Elizabeth Warren did the utmost disservice to Bernie Sanders staying in for Super Tuesday. Elizabeth Warren doesn't run. Bernie Sanders right now is your nominee. And as far as Joe Biden, I'm going to just take this road on Joe Biden. I'm worried about him. His health. I don't care if he's a Republican, Democrat, or whatever. I mean, yeah, the guy's got a creepy past. I agree with you there. But the thing about it is, my mom had dementia and Alzheimer's. I've been around it. The man has dementia. And anybody to put him, I can't believe his wife is letting him actually even be out on the public stage in his condition, because he's not. He's not. Whoever you vote for, if you vote Democrat, you're voting for whoever that vice president is going to be, because Biden won't make it. So that's my thoughts on the Democrats. Kim?
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But the Democrats, I'm going to write in Bernie. That's what I'm going to do regardless. There's no way I want Joe Biden in there. And Trump's going to get it anyways. And there's nothing he can do about it.
I'm surprised that Bernie's just kind of rolled over, just taking it.
It was a coup. Did you not see that? Did you see that not happen? There was a Democrat, and every one of them on the Tuesday of the primaries, they're going to go boom, 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 out of the race they go, and so all of them endorsed Joe Biden.
Except for Elizabeth Warren.
Except for Elizabeth Warren.
And because she's
Little papoose.
So anyhow,
Pocahontas.
Rick says he got paid off.
We're not allowed to say those words.
Well, I agree with it. I can't help what party she's with.
He's got paid. Yeah.
Because he was just, you all heard election, coronavirus, and then
I tell you what,
nothing.
I think,
all of them are doing it.
but you know,
Nothing about it.
Bernie did say though that he was, going to keep his delegates and was going to stay in there until the convention. And so I don't know.
This is the second time he's dropped out of the presidential race. He's ran 2 years in a row. There's.
I would hope that. I mean, like I said, I'm saying this sincerely. If he was Republican, I would say he needs to drop out. Real quick, let's have short answers here, and no diatribes. Just one name answers. Your pick. Okay, you're Joe Biden. who's your vice presidential candidate? Who you picking to run?
It's still out there, and
Well, it
can
could
I
be,
pick anybody?
could be anybody.
I'd love it to be Sarah Palin.
For Joe Biden?
No, with Bernie
Oh,
and Bernie. I'd love it.
Boy, what a hell of a combination.
I don't think that she would, but that's what I'd like to see. You see what I'm saying?
that's fair. That's what I asked.
Yes, that's what I would like to see.
All right.
I do, absolutely. Governor of Alaska, right? Yeah, sure.
No.
Former
anymore.
former
She's all
governor.
about the guns, and I love that.
Okay. I said short answers. She threw everybody a curve when she put a Republican and a Democrat together.
Really?
You asked.
I did, and I appreciate the answer. I'm moving on. Who's your heat wave? Who's your pick? Your Joe Biden. Who's your vice presidential pick? Well, go
How
ahead.
did you know that, Rick?
Come on. Come on.
I don't even know who
You
does.
want everything
I don't
free,
know
that's
who-
why.
This explains a lot. Heat wave's a Democrat. All right.
Well, you know what? You know what? I did vote for this guy right here.
Well, you're a smart man then.
I did.
Smart Democrat.
I did. But
Well, you didn't have much
I don't know
choice.
who. I don't know who's running for vice president.
No,
so
no one runs. Who would you pick?
Well, I don't know
You-
who to pick. You know, I mean,
You can pick anybody out there.
Rick.
this guy right here.
Nah, I can't
Sorry.
run. I can't run.
Why can't
Well,
you?
I don't know the names of
I can't run. For
Why
vice
not?
president.
who's running.
I couldn't do that. I'm a Trump guy.
Who's Democrats as vice?
Nancy Pelosi.
There you go, Nancy Pelosi.
You can't. Where?
He's joking.
I loaded that one.
Yeah, you did, Bill.
All right, Bill. Sydney's ready to go to the chamber over here.
Yeah, after I said Nancy Pelosi, I don't think she'd really like that one.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, Mr. Joe Biden, I would actually have to say Nancy Pelosi, just because of what she's done to the state of California.
So, in other words, you're setting him up to lose. But if he was to win, who would you pick? Nancy Pelosi.
I'm moving.
Nancy Pelosi is a clown.
I'm moving.
Oh my heavens! Yes.
Who would you really pick?
I would move.
You can't move. Now you sound like Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, if Trump
Whoa,
gets to
whoa,
be
whoa.
president,
Whoopi
I'm
and all
gonna
them
move.
guys have not left yet, have they?
No, none of them have.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
I'm
there
going
is
to
a-
give you my pick.
Okay.
I'm going to give you my pick. I like a certain black lady to run for vice president. And the only reason I like her is because when I heard her in the debates, she actually touched on issues that related right to me. So if nothing else, I think she's talking about the right things, if that makes sense. Now, and plus she's got, being African-American, being a woman, going for her. And if I was Joe Biden, especially after what Joe Biden just said about African-Americans this week, yeah, I would pick Kamala Harris.
I would too.
I would pick Kamala Harris.
I like her.
She's certainly gotten to where she's gotten.
I like her very much.
Maxine Waters.
Oh, that's open too, but I'm not going there. Anyhow, Rick had a nice comment we can't have for radio in the background there. But anyhow,
There's always a comment from the peanut gallery.
Kamala Harris, that's who I think. I mean, I think she's talking about the right issues. Whether she's on the right side of the issues or not, she talks about the right side of the issues.
Dixon is laughing it up out here, buddy.
Who is?
Bill Dickinson.
Bill Dickerson, call my phone again. I'll strangle you. It's that simple. Yeah, you can call Mahaney's phone. Anyhow, let's talk. Let's talk a little more here. Not necessarily.
Politics.
I'm Corona wise. I am just going to say this, and we need to be. We really need to be aware of that. Not everybody does live here. It's like I was talking to a lady the other day about my ESPN account on my TV. She's from Detroit. And I could just really hear the fear in her voice because we're on hold a lot.
That's a real bad hot spot.
Well, it is. Heat wave.
I'm
What
trying
are
to
you doing
mute
there,
that.
brother?
Trying to
Anyhow,
listen, see my comments.
Oh, okay. Well, you got them right there in front of you.
Yeah, but it's like a little delay.
He's
there.
going to
All right. But anyhow,
Are they?
I was telling her, and you could just tell how concerned she was. And I got to telling her how in our 3-county area, Highland, Fayette, and Clinton County, we've had one death. And like out of all 3 counties, we've only had one death. And like around, what have we had, 25, 30,000 cases maybe with all 3 counties? Now, Warren County's got more, but we are really living in a tale of 2 worlds, 2 countries right now, because you have the people out here in the rural areas, and, think about it, we're not even as rural as some of these states are, and we pretty much are just, we can't help it. We are social distance.
Well, look,
you know what I'm saying?
Wyoming and
that's what I mean. Well, even
Dakotas.
here, but even here. But you go to Warren County, you go to Franklin County, you go to Hamilton County. All these things that the governors and stuff are doing probably need to be in effect for those counties, not for every other county. I mean, that's the thing that people need to realize. Now, if it starts outbreaking in a county, you got to go, maybe have your Corona County rules and your non-Corona County rules. If you have less than 10 deaths in your county, you're open.
You're talking East Germany and West Germany.
Well, but you also have to figure out what's going on.
Right, like to me, it's like a seatbelt law. Hype.
Well, hype. Still, though, you have to look. I think
it's Rick Phillips in the background.
Oh, yeah.
still you need to.
It's the truth.
No, I agree. I agree.
I agree with you.
Rick's just saying, the Republicans are going to sweep everything, which I tend to agree with too. Even though you see these polls, Joe Biden's ahead 6 points and whatever. I don't think that's true.
Well,
but
didn't they do that in 2016?
oh yeah,
The polls?
bad, yeah,
They put the polls way up here for Hillary and
yeah.
down here.
I have a question for all of you guys.
Never on the first date.
Do you think we're going to get a second stimulus?
Yes.
Yeah, I
There
would
is?
I would like to see what the one they've been talking about for the essential workers.
I'm
You know,
essential.
This is your
all-
bailiwick.
I mean, there's a lot of people like the EMTs, the firefighters,
I
the
want no
doctors,
part of
nurses.
this.
They're
Oh,
all
yeah.
getting
I do
this.
not
Supposed
condone
to be getting this
socialism.
big money.
I condone social
But who's
justice.
the one that's been hauling all this stuff to them? The American trucker. We're the
Yeah.
ones that's been getting ripped off because the brokers are still making their extra money. They're getting premium money to haul the freight. I didn't go into this, but the brokers that broker these loads that are for the critical mask, gloves, gowns,
They're getting more money.
they are actually getting $10 a mile for this. The brokers are. They have cut the mileage pay down to less than $1 for the owner operators. You have to bid on this to just get the load. They don't get the $10. The broker gets that money.
Yeah, that's not
He
right.
gives you $1 of that 10.
That's that middleman. That's what he does.
That's what that broker does. And the thing is,
Look how much we pay for groceries from a farmer. Look how much the farmer gets for his groceries.
Oh yeah.
well, just like they turn around, and I'll be honest, I've seen some pictures that they showed on TV or on Facebook of dumping milk. I look at those pictures. I worked on a dairy farm growing up, and I'm sitting here laughing because there's a guy in Blanchester that used to haul milk. He used to fill his tanks up with water to clean them out, and it was
Right.
just a residue coming out of the back of the
Right.
tank. I'm like, I taking a picture of that, showing it. I'm like,
Now I want to tell you,
Boy.
now in the 40s, when my grandma and grandpa was dairy farming, when I was not even a thought in my granddaddy's eye, my parents were, they're my grandparents, they raised me, they were dairy farmers for 32 years, and now the union wanted the dairy farmers to join, and grandma and grandpa wouldn't do it. but around the other towns they did, and they were upsetting the people's milk, dumping it out that wouldn't join on. And a man named Shorty got out, the driver, and he carried him a shotgun, and he come and picked up the milk. Grandpa said, I'm not dumping my milk, and they went with a shotgun to take the milk to the market. It was not going to do it.
Rick runs moonshine. You heard that live here on WZAA.
I heard he dumped live.
I didn't hear that.
I heard nothing. Yeah,
I heard it.
nothing.
You guys all heard it.
I heard nothing.
Remember,
All right.
Rick lives on a farm.
Thank God.
So
It's
he can
time
get
to-
away with this.
Time
It's
for a
time
break.
to take a break. 2-minute break now. Facebook will still be around. Okay, so. All right, we're back here live with all the mediums, YouTube, Facebook Live, WZAA FM 106.9, and people that tuned in this morning to listen to their music are going,
Do the
what
words
the
ambush
heck
mean
is
anything
this?
to you?
What the heck
Does the
is
word
this?
ambush mean anything to you?
Say the other word, but we're not allowed because
Oh, sure we are. Anyhow,
Blindsided, perhaps?
all right, here we go. All right, I got to give Haynes a sign. He doesn't understand anything else. Okay. Now, let me ask quick question here. Quick question, quick answer. All right. What's the one thing that you've missed the most since all this crap's been going on? So Kim, start with
Going
you.
out to eat.
We're at.
Don't care.
Oh, what's your favorite place to go to?
Any place to go to steakhouse. Outback, I guess. Outback or Red Lobster, probably about my two favorites.
Okay.
you don't have to worry about going to Logan's no more. They closed.
I don't even know what that is.
Steakhouse.
Oh,
Steakhouse permanently.
never even heard of
They
it.
closed before they even started this.
Heat wave.
Yes.
What you missed the most since this has been going on?
I miss going crown.
I figured you were going. I thought you were going to miss wrestling.
Well, that too. I really do right now. I miss my brothers and sisters because I'm taking care of my mom, and
Sure.
it's tough. I'm telling you, and all
Well,
my wrestling fans, you know.
And you're.
I'm just a wrestling manager, right? You know.
Yeah.
I gotta jump in real quick. When you said Golden Corral, made me think of Ponderosa. We went out to eat at Ponderosa, and they took the buffet out right now, and everything is super expensive. You got to pay for your dessert, pay for everything like that. And I'm telling you, they are just making money. I bet you money they don't put that buffet back in because they are going to bank on it the other way.
Generations buffet is going to happen, but the way I understand it is the server has to go get your stuff, what you want.
At the pizza, that place in Wilmington.
You have,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah, Crystal. Hopefully she'll work
I
on
like
days
Cane's, but you know, with this going on, you have to wait in a freaking long line to go to the drive-thru here in
yeah.
Chillicothe, and I just
like that. Yeah.
Can't do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bill, what do you miss most? At a restaurant. Everybody's restaurants. I'm surprised. I figured it'd be other things.
Well, there's a lot of stuff we can do, we can't do.
I miss my DJing.
Well, I love going to your car shows and stuff.
I miss that. Well, we had a nice car show Saturday, and I tell you what, I kept wanting to look behind my head all the time. Like, is somebody going to come out here? Are they going to say anything? Because we had 103 cars, and I was just DJing it. The lady putting on the show, I said, you might want to call the health department, but you might not want to. A lot of times it's either to say I'm sorry than ask permission. And also, the restaurant was there, and he always is talking to the health department. I thought, well, he's talked to the health department because they're constantly talking back and forth with all this crap. So I asked him at the car show, hey, you talked to the health department about this? No. I'm like, crap, here we go. But 2 police came out there that day, and both of them said, have a good time. Even got out of their cars and looked around, and no problems. Now, Bill, go ahead.
There's one thing that we're all going to miss, all of us, is the Midway Fair food.
Yeah.
The elephant ears, the corn dogs. You know, Charlie's sitting over shaking his head.
Wait a
He
minute.
lost all this weight. I will give Charlie credit.
We got.
I don't go to
that.
fairs.
But you look at all the fairs.
I don't go to the fairs.
But look at all the
You know, the
fairs.
demolition derbies.
You know,
I
the
like
fairs, the like the demolition derbies, to the car shows and stuff
Car
where
shows?
vendors are showing up at, and be able to cook stuff like they do. These people are going to hurt just as more as the rest of us because they live in Florida during the winter months because there's the fairs and stuff down there. But they come up here during the summer months, they're all shut down. The amusement parks are shut down.
The first fair that starts in Ohio is the fair that I live at, Pickaway County Fair.
It's closed.
I don't know if they closed.
The
Ohio
Ohio
State Fair is closed.
Ohio State
The
Fair is
Super Bowl
canceled.
closed
And that's
their
clear
fair.
what
I mean, all these fairs are closing.
Yeah.
What
And like
about,
I said, the Midways.
has anybody heard for sure, and I'm asking you, because I've heard yes and I've heard no, and this goes along with Bill's deal, is the pumpkin show still going on, or have they
I
canceled
talked
it?
to the vice president of Pumpkin Show. He told me it is still on. They
Still
haven't
on
said
right
anything
now.
yet, because it's still months away yet in
Right.
October.
But
No.
See, I've
I
heard
that's
talked
the
to
thing.
vice president.
We're seeing
of
stuff on
Pumpkin Show.
Facebook that people keep putting on. It's
Yeah.
not true. And I've said Facebook is the worst
Social
enemy
media, yeah.
of the whole country because they tell stuff and somebody else tells the same story and keeps it going.
Yeah.
Then they turn around, they got this fact check. Some of the fact check is
Wrong also.
wrong also. And it's 6-8 weeks before you find out, oops,
That's right.
I did lie.
Circleville Pumpkin Show is still on, as far as I know, because I talked to the vice president of Circleville Pumpkin Show. Pumpkin Show is still on.
Okay.
Now, I want to change the subject all the way around. I just got to do this for one reason. We have had a problem here in the state of Ohio, which Rick, our fine producer, has keep posting and letting everybody know about it, him and his wife, Sydney. We got human trafficking going on. They're grabbing young ladies, young men, and keep coming up missing in the state of Ohio. I was just want to make sure that the news media is not covering this stuff.
Not at all.
They're keeping quiet. We did have one young lady come up missing in the Greenfield area. She came home.
No, she didn't come home.
Well,
She was quote unquote found.
Yeah, she was 18, and she's on her own. She didn't want to be. She wanted to be left alone and spend all that money to try to find her.
See, that's that
The human
Facebook.
trafficking.
That's that Facebook truth.
yeah, see,
Yeah. Yep.
you know, but like we're saying, there's a lot of the Facebook media stuff is not keeping it true. But
Isn't Ohio the worst state for it?
the state of Ohio is one of the worst, and they have a corridor 23.
First or second?
Well, no, wait a minute, hold on. I know about this from when I used to go to church a lot because I worked with youth, and what they do is they get them at Toledo, Detroit, that whole northern, northwestern Ohio, northeastern Indiana and Michigan, what they do is they take them up through Toledo, get them out on the Great Lakes, and
right.
take them right out to the ocean.
Windsor's right there.
Yeah, they can take them right out to the ocean, right there. And so
Exactly right.
Toledo I mean, it's been a while since I've worked with. I mean, it's been like that. Probably it's had that reputation 20 plus years. So yeah, and we need to be careful. You know, my daughter has a knife. She has a taser with her, because of this crazy stuff that's going on. And yeah, some people just leave on their own, but there are a lot of kids that are. There was just a girl here in the Jeffersonville area that was gone, and they found her. I don't know the whole details on that,
But like I said, but nobody comes up and tells the complete story afterwards. And they keep posting stuff and keep reposting and keep reposting and reposting. Some of the stories are,
Like a big game of telephone.
some of the stories are almost a year old.
But I'm going to say
in the middle
this
of a
too.
small town.
I'm going to say this too, though. I would rather get my news a lot of times from Facebook than I would from the news media.
It's the morning paper.
It's just depending on what you hear.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no more Walter Cronkites of the world.
Yeah.
There's
Al
not.
Shawkali.
There's
I
no
didn't say
more.
his name right. But
Yeah,
Al.
yeah, you did.
He
There's
exposed the Vietnam War to the American people.
Yeah, there's no more just straightforward, reporting of news, and you got the lefties, MSNBC, the Clinton News Network, and then you have the righties, the Fox people, which I tend to watch Fox because I tend to believe that way, but also you're going to hear things on Fox you're never going to hear on MSNBC or CNN, and it's just so slanted. And that's the problem with our parties right now in this country. The middle needs to rise up and rule. Right now, the Democrats especially are way off the deep end because the left, what do they call that group, the gang of the Muslim ladies, what do they call them? There's the squad. They're kind of leading the Democratic Party right now, where Republicans, if you remember 10, 15 years ago, it was the Tea Party. This is the Democrat version of the Tea Party, the squad. Right. And well, the middle, that's what I'm saying. The middle needs to
Somewhere
come.
meet in the middle.
Well, they're
You're more
actually
middle
bragging
than
they
some.
get the news from Rick.
More middle than some.
See, I just don't know how to go about that. I just don't know because
I'm sorry that I
agree
had
with
I
a
had
lot
to
of
do
what
that
you said.
because
I really do. But
I
then
do
some
know
of
that
the
a lot of the law enforcement, everybody is.
Okay, we talked about the one thing we miss, and this might be a weird question. What's the one thing that you've liked during all this? Kim, we'll start with you. What are you doing?
redoing the house. Remodel.
Okay. Redoing the house. What's the one thing you've liked that you haven't been able to do or that you've done? Heat wave, what do you think?
I've been helping my brother a lot. He has his own business, and he's essential. He does heating and air conditioning.
And you've been helping him?
Helping him a lot, when helping our mom.
Have you enjoyed that?
Yeah.
What about you, Bill?
Actually, just sitting, being able to just do what I do at home, like I usually do.
But I'm not at home. I'm still working at Kroger.
Right.
We're open all the time. So.
When I get to come home, I just being at home.
Probably the best thing that's happened to us, like I said, just kind of like Kim, just our trash man has hated us the last month because
Hey, now there,
I have
right there
just
is a,
Oh yeah.
I have
Get the clutter gone.
I
hey,
have
right there's a guy that actually needs some praise.
Oh,
The
yeah.
trash people.
yep
Yeah.
I have
Because
thrown away
they're putting
stuff.
up with the viral grade, the hazards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then most people don't talk about the little godforsaken trash man.
Oh, they make good money. That's actually not a bad job, a trash guy. But I'll tell you, what was really bizarre though, last month I've just had tons of stuff I've thrown out. And, last week, for some reason, I didn't have as much and they didn't take everything. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? So this week I'm going to keep the same stuff out there, but I'm going to put it like on top of my cans and it's in between my cans, so maybe they'll take it. But it's weird. But they've done a good job, but it's just like, wow. I mean, we've literally, I don't know, how many pounds is in a ton?
2,000.
We've probably thrown a ton of stuff away, and that's literal. I mean, that's very true. And I'm just now getting to my garage where I can get into it and start cleaning it out. So,
You mean you really started to clean the garage?
Guy Durham, you're putting crazy things on here. Guy Durham wants to know, why does a leprechaun run sideways? I don't know,
Because he's
Guy.
hiding from you, Guy.
I don't know.
Where you don't steal his pot of gold.
Maybe he's just running away from you because he knows what kind of guy you are. Everybody backs away from you, Guy. You know?
Did you see Guy out there on his motorcycle?
No.
He's been posting pictures.
Yeah.
He's got a nice trike, don't he?
Well, Guy's got everything. It's nice. Guy's a friend of ours from out in St. Louis. He brought his hearse up to my car show a couple years ago. So where do we want to go next? I mean, what, hearse? Well, what's his reply? Because he trips over his jewels. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why. All right. There we go. We got that.
Well, we got it.
Guy.
Understood
Guy.
that one.
10,000 comedians out of work, Guy, and you're trying to be funny. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right. So we talked about what we want, what we've liked out of this. That was me. Sorry. I moved the chair. No carpet on the floor anymore out here.
Sure it was.
Yeah, it was bad.
He ate pork and beans last night.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's bad over
Actually,
here.
I'm going to probably have hamburgers and hot dogs for the next week because
That
we
sounds good.
we bought a bunch for, we had a little get-together the other night, and man.
More than 10?
Yeah, we had 20.
Oh, you kept 20 feet apart, right?
No.
I'm talking about the group of 10.
No.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No mask, nothing. One guy.
You know something? We was at that place in Circleville that had all that bike crash. You was there too, with
Yeah.
all the bikes and
Yep.
stuff. There's about 10,000 bikes, they said, showed up there.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yep.
going to tell you something. I saw one person with a mask on, a little old lady taking some pictures out of all of those
Well,
people. One.
You knew the guy in the wreck,
No, I did. I don't know if I did.
Jimmy Hodge.
No, I don't.
You don't know Jim?
I do not.
Used to live right. I think he lives out on Greenfield Spine Road there. You know him. He works out New Spine. You know the family. We'll talk
All
later.
right,
You
yeah,
know
no.
him. But
Becky
yeah,
and Matt and Marcus's dad?
brother,
Brother.
older
Okay.
brother.
All right.
But yeah, and he's getting along good now. But yeah, I tell you one thing that's emerged from this. It's kind of interesting. Instead of having cruise-ins and car shows, they've had cruises. The city of Circleville's had cruises, which their mayor's a Democrat, and he's absolutely just hated it.
He's not a Democrat.
Yeah, I think
He's
he is.
independent.
Well,
I couldn't believe it.
He might say he's
Hillsborough.
independent, but he's a Democrat, and he has been. They brought all this extra money to Circleville, and all he's done is complain about it. Washington Courthouse has had them. Greenfield's had them. Hillsborough had one that was an absolute mess.
Well, you got to remember, Hillsborough used to be the big cruise
Oh,
when we were high school kids.
I know, but I'm gonna tell you what. If people want to come back there, the first night they probably lost 25% of the people that would want to come back because it was such a mess. Did you go over for that?
No, but I
Have you heard
followed
of-
Todd Kissinger, and he did.
Yeah, it was a mess. And they just did a cruise like around 2 blocks. And if they would extend the route, they'll get more people. I went over there and waited 45 minutes just to try to get on the cruise route and turn around and come home.
Forget it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Oh, there's something else I want to say here too. We had the biggest funeral here in Circleville in town like 3 or 4 days ago. Dwight Radcliffe passed away.
Okay.
He used to be our sheriff in Pickaway County. It was a big thing for him.
Yep.
He was the longest serving sheriff in Pickaway County. And my prayers go out to his wife and all the family there. So I just thought I'd put that out there. So if they're watching.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he's the longest sheriff in the United
Really?
States. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Didn't know that.
Dwight. His son, Rob, is the sheriff now in Pickaway County.
What you got, Bill? You're pointing at me.
I was reading messages about Kim.
Oh,
Messages about me.
Yeah.
Kimberly Michael was just saying hi to you. The other Kim
The
Michael.
other Kimmy Michael.
Yeah, the other Kim Michael. There's two Kim Michael.
She's your cousin.
There's actually three
Is there?
because there's you, and the one that's married to Arthur Polly. Then there's another one that works for temporary service.
She has an S on her last name,
Well,
doesn't she?
Close enough. I mean, Michaels. I mean,
It's not the same.
it's the same. Yeah, it's the same.
Picky.
Semantics, Mr. Hargrave.
I called her once thinking it was you.
Really?
Oh my gosh! You ever do stupid things like that? I rented an apartment one time to a girl. I thought I was talking to another girl, and we're just doing this all by phone. And I went to go pick up a rent. I'm like, "Who are you?" "Well, I'm your new renter." I'm like, because I thought it was a whole different person I rented to. That's how bad it was.
What were you saying about dementia?
Oh, I'll have it. There's no doubt I'll have
Do you
it.
think it's hereditary?
Yep.
Do you really?
Yep, and I think that's they say it's part of it too. Drinking out of metal cans, even. I don't know if that's true or not. Aluminum, yeah, but yeah, I think I'll get it. There's times now where I can think, and you guys maybe it's just old age. You guys answer with me, where you can't think of the word or you can't think of the person, but you could draw a picture of them quicker than you think of their daggone name.
Yeah.
I mean, that drives me. Yeah, you've had that happen too. Rick's like, yeah, what about
I feel like
you?
that was just old age. I don't think that.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Speak for yourself.
I was.
Hey, that's why do you think I'm raising money for Alzheimer's through my car shows? I mean, like I said, Mom had it. It wouldn't surprise me if
Hey,
I ended
cuz.
up with it. So,
Got more cousins popping
anything
online
you
here.
guys want to?
Yep.
I know you got to leave here pretty soon. Anything else you want to bring up before you leave?
I miss wrestling. I really do.
Do you want me to just give you a big elbow? Does that help?
Yeah.
Raybacks on. We're in trouble.
I can give you a big
Wearing
really?
his bathrobe
You want
and
a big
sunglasses
elbow?
again.
Brain claw.
I truly
brain
hope so.
claw. Here, go ahead. Go ahead.
Then he will. We'll have faith that he will. And his ball cap.
Hey, you didn't talk about the brain claw. I got something right here for you. You know what this is?
What?
It's a brain sucker, and it's dying.
Oh, bad.
That's an old joke. That's an oldie.
That is an old joke. So we have Bill Raybeck coming in? Oh, boy. Okay.
We're in trouble now.
Oh, no, he's even more right than Rick. I mean, so we got to have
I thought
him
it was
sitting
left.
Yeah.
We got to have him sitting way over there, Kim over here, and I'll be in the middle.
Well,
I don't think I'm so far left. I'm just.
You
I'm
seem
not
to be
so-
coming to the
Why
middle.
don't you just put Kim right here in the middle
Common
here?
sense is what I have. I am not converted. I have common sense. They're as good in both parts. They're both two wings of the same bird, anyways. But
really?
in the middle is where they all need to meet and have some kind of common
There you
ground.
go. Hey, Kim, you can sit right here in the middle.
I say that all the time.
Oh, bad.
I say that all the time. All right.
We could get in trouble for that one.
I just got to take a break here from something, but just to let you guys know, some of the car shows that I know that are coming up. Banana Split Festival is canceled. I'm going to let people know that. The Ace Car Show is canceled down Lebanon. NSRA Appreciation Days, Washington Courthouse, is canceled. To my knowledge, the Happy Days Car Show in Mount Sterling this week is canceled. I've got to check on that for sure, but I'm like 99% sure it's canceled. One that is still going on, Cedar Creek Flea Market, second Sunday in June, still going on.
Is it?
Yep.
I like that place.
Cedar Creek Flea Market Car Show. It's open. Cedar Creek Flea Market's open.
Yeah, I'm glad they opened that up.
Also, the Father's Day Car Show put on by the Boy Scouts in Fayetteville is on. It's open. But one I just heard today that's canceled, and a lot of people are not going to like this because it's a really good car show. They're not canceling the whole event, but they're just canceling the car show part, which I don't really quite get. But anyhow, the Brett Whiteman Car Show out on 72 is canceled. But there's a bunch of other stuff that goes along with that. So I don't know if they're still there's a bike run with it, and there's usually they have a band out there and food and all that.
My old man might want to get the club, his motorcycle club, involved.
Well, if they still have it.
If
They
they
just
still have
canceled the
it.
car show. It's Brett Whiteman out there, Luttrell's, Whitey Luttrell,
yeah.
out there, Luttrell Trucking. But the car show part is canceled. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I think we're getting ready. For
Yeah, I
another
want to throw
break.
this out here too. Rick and Sydney and all you guys over here, thanks for having me here.
Oh,
to the
yeah.
show,
Nice to
the
meet
Zoo
you.
today.
Yeah.
So
Well, we gotta get. I didn't realize you were on the left side of things. We gotta get you converted, baby. We gotta get
Well,
you
he loves all
converted.
that free stuff.
what free stuff?
The stuff they give everybody.
Who?
The Democrats. You didn't get none?
I didn't get nothing.
No, wait a minute. Wait.
They took it away from us.
You did get it for a while, right?
We did have it for a while, and then they took it away from us because all this stuff is opening up, thinking everything's going back to normal, and it's not. But they gave us
new
a
normal.
$400 bonus, but they're going to be taking taxes out because we got $200 coming this month, and then next month is $200. So you know they'll be taking taxes out. You're not going to get that.
Well, they gotta take the
$200.
taxes.
You know what I mean?
That's
But-
just like the stimulus check. You know, we're going to have to claim that $1,200.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I got mine direct deposited.
Yeah, we got ours.
We found out if you got direct deposit,
Not
you get 'em.
entitled to one.
You make too much money?
I'm just going to say I'm not entitled to one.
You're sending yours back?
I'm not entitled to one.
I said, are you sending it back?
And I think she's saying to you, it's none of your dang business. That's what she's
Yeah.
trying to say
Well,
to you.
I will tell you what Biden will. I will tell you exactly what mine's going to. The new roof on my house.
Okay.
'Cause
That's an
kn-
important thing.
No kidding. I look at it this way. I turn around and tried to get the extra money to get the new roof. Everybody didn't want to loan it to you because of the stimulus stuff.
Okay, if they're getting another
That's how I touch all my
stimulus,
classes is through
Rick,
Zoom.
if we're getting another stimulus, then how much is that going to be? Is it going to be the same as what we just got here, or? I really don't think we are either, but yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Democrats want to give us, what, $2,000 a month? And then,
That didn't
Oh,
happen.
no, I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good with that. Go ahead.
Well, wait a minute.
Is no one
Which
concerned
state
with what
is
the
the
public
worst?
is being distracted from with all of this madness? Does no one even like what are we missing here while we're also worried about this over here? This is going nuts over here.
Okay.
Well, and there's a lot of
And these
stuff that's getting
bills-
ready to hit.
And these bills and the things they're slipping in. If you see
I'm-
the ones
I'm going
that
to
you can
throw
rat out your
something out
neighbor
here.
And the people you come in contact with, and if you see them, that's just like this McCarthy and the Red Scare. Communism is what that sounds like, and it's wrong. Is what it sounds like to me.
I got one. I
Like,
got one good one for you.
And what papers? They'll have to be carrying papers that say they're vaccine or something. And the way when you walk into businesses and they take in your temperature
I
and stuff
started.
like that. Think about that. It'd be a barcode, chip in, you zip and read that. That's exactly right.
You
And
mean
what are
Bill
people willing to
Gates?
allow in the name of being safe, in the name
Look
of
where
fear?
Heatwave
What
started.
are they
No
allowing?
kidding.
I'm telling you, I can't take it.
But
There's no way in the
here's
world.
something that you guys are all missing. Every one of you are missing.
Oh, I'd love to hear this.
Population control in China. You notice where it started at.
That's
and
all-
how
that's
much
been going on
news
for
media,
years.
how much news media has actually been covered.
That's been going on for years.
Heroin is population
No.
control.
What I'm saying is
crack
how much
epidemic.
news did we actually get out of China? How many people was actually dead? How many people they actually cremated?
You'll never know. You'll never know. Pardon?
I get the flu vaccine every year.
Absolutely
The,
not.
the flu, I get the flu.
If Bill
I get the
Gates has
flu.
got anything to do with it,
Come to your
hell
house and
no.
knock on your door and check on you and see who's all in there and take names. And if you're and if you're here
Mm-hmm.
illegally, guess what you're going to get? I see a whole big darker thing underlying all of this.
This
and
all
people are
started about
willingly giving
stimulus
up their
now.
rights in the name of this fear that's been created and mass media hype. Do you not agree?
I think Heatwave made a mistake when I asked about the second stimulus.
So did I. So did I. The minute they said they were going to close down business, you had to stay at your house and quarantine and all this, you bet your ass I'm not.
We
yes,
had
we
to
can.
get her all worked up.
I'm not worked up. I'm just passionate.
We just can't say the other word.
Okay.
Had to double check here.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, Charlie, is that on there or not?
I'm not even looking at that list. I don't have to worry about that list. Yeah, but anyhow, Kim, I think what you said, most people agree. And I think also they're shocked to hear you say it, but that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Guy actually said, ease up, Kim. Uh-oh.
So
Certainly,
heroin's
the
a
crack
population
epidemic
control.
in the 1980s with the black population in South Central, 100%. The government brought that drugs in, and then war on drugs in Colombia and Pablo Escobar and all of that. They're funding absolutely. Yes.
Well,
DEA, it's all in it.
wait a minute.
They're all
Wait a second.
criminals.
Let's talk population control here a minute.
Yes.
Let's talk population control. How about, well, let me just leave everybody with this. Governor Andrew Cuomo. And we'll talk about that when we come back.
Oh.
All right, we're back here live, WZAA 106.9, Facebook Live, YouTube, and nope.
Heat wave is here.
That's not a better looking heat wave. That is Rick Phillips in. And
Look at the glow in the background.
All I can say is pray for me because I'm between him and Kim. So who knows what's liable to
That's by
happen
design.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say you are the more moderate, I suppose, of us two.
Oh, I am definitely.
Well, if he's gonna like Camilla Harris, he is moderate.
Kamala.
That-
Kamala.
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 Shamilla.
You say Camilla, I say Kamala.
She's a communist.
I say let's just call the whole thing off. Anyhow, let's talk
Hey,
here.
Bill.
You know,
Water border, right?
Andrew Cuomo, New York City. Trump sends him a ship. He builds him a hospital over there.
Uh-oh.
No, he did.
Oh, I know he did. No, he's not even used.
And then he doesn't use them, but yet then he sends the people with coronavirus. You know what? Let's just put them back in the nursing homes.
Yeah, how about that?
I personally think he ought to be charged with murder.
Well,
Is he the one they call him Grandma Killer?
He should be charged.
he
with
actually
murder.
has admitted now that this whole thing was ill-conceived. So he's already backed off. And so why don't they just open up New York then?
Well, you
if he,
can't. You
if he
just
thinks
can't.
that
How are they
it's.
going to admit they were wrong? I'm so waiting. I'm ready for that.
I think you need.
But they're not.
You
They're
need
not wrong.
the herd immunity. You've got to get out there. You got to get the sunshine. You got to,
Hey, we're counting the rolls of toilet paper.
Listen.
That's right. Nope.
The thing is, they're not wrong, and that's what people have got to understand. Everybody's counting this like it's all or one. You can't do that. It's like I said earlier. The big cities, they've got issues.
Agreed. New
And-
York, they would live on top of each other, and they're all in public.
Look what's
Columbus. Oh, yes.
look what's going on just in
Concentrated
Cleveland and
populations, I
Detroit
get
right
that.
now.
But
Right.
little
Yeah.
rural areas where y'all houses far apart, and I just
Columbus,
don't buy it.
Dayton, Cincinnati.
Well, the one little town out there in Arizona, they actually declared martial law.
In Arizona.
Was that in Arizona or
Gallup.
New Mexico?
Gallup,
Gallup, New Mexico. Yeah.
Gallup, New Mexico, they did declare martial law in the town.
Yeah, they shut it down completely.
What
Couldn't come in or out.
What
Yeah.
famous road goes through Gallup, New Mexico?
40.
Route 66.
Route 66.
Well, in 40.
Well, remember, I used to live in Phoenix.
Yeah. Did you really? You lived on Route
Well, see,
66?
most people don't realize that that little town out there was martial law. See, that's the thing, and truck drivers found out about.
Yeah. Well, and
They
a
don't-
lot of
they
people
only-
were thinking that was going to happen. I mean, but it just, they never did go quite that far, but they went right to the edge of it.
Well, yeah, and we still don't know because see a heat wave.
Yeah, tested a prison population.
Well, I mean
All
that's
the
what they're doing.
prisons and the
Prisons, nursing
are-
homes. I mean, obviously, once again, where people can't get away from each other, they're on top of each other. You know, that's where you're seeing this, and that's where all these big numbers, because they didn't go in and test the general population. They went into all these areas where they knew they were going to get high numbers, so they could say all these people are infected, so that they could substantiate the reason for their lockdown. Which, you know, all they simply did was they destroyed a booming economy because they once again did not want Donald Trump to be reelected, and all they've done is they've made people that much angrier. That's why I think it's going to be big red this November.
Well, yeah, I think it is too. I think it would be.
So
nice.
you're gonna think that we're going to vote by mail?
Oh,
think
that's
I
a
am?
fraud.
Ohio already does.
That is a 100% fraud.
No way.
Hey, I know better than
Okay, we're going to hear the words of
Hold
wisdom
on,
from
hold on.
our host.
Ohio already does.
Well, every state votes by
Every-
mail
if you
as
wanna
far
vote-
as.
it's your choice if you want to vote by mail.
If it's your choice, but if it's mandated,
Right.
Here's my thought about elections in general. First of all, you've got to differentiate. There are state and local elections, and there are federal elections. The federal elections are controlled, you know, at the federal level. So states can't just say we're going to vote by mail for the president of the United States, because the federal government has something to say about that. So if they want to vote, you know, locally or for their governor or whatever else, then they can vote any way they want. You know, that's the state's right. 10th Amendment. But when it comes to the federal election, so my thought is if you allow mail-in voting, and that's all there is, you won't allow people to go into a voting booth, you just simply don't include those votes. State of California, state of New York, you know, just mark off those states. They don't get to vote, not in the federal election.
States to knock off the market.
Well, I mean, don't you understand? It's those blue states that are
They're
trying
rigging.
the mail-in
They're wanting to
voting.
rig it.
Yeah, you know, Whitmer up, and that's the other thing. You know, I always thought that, you know, when you look at like prime ministers in Great Britain and they were women, and you thought, you know, they really did a great job. You look at Margaret Thatcher; she was incredible. But you look at these crazy female governors, and they are communist dictators.
Wait a minute.
Oh, my gosh.
What about the mayor of Chicago?
Yeah,
she looks like
Beetlejuice. So I mean, you know, these
we said it twice.
these crazy women, they're off the rails. I mean, you know, you've got, you know, Cuomo, and you've got other men that are governors, you know, like Gavin Newsom, who's Pelosi's, you know, relative. What is she? What is he? He's her.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they're related. That's the problem. You know, all of these crazy people are. But bottom line is no.
Are they related to Bill Maines?
Here's my thought as far as
Not related to me. I swear.
cousins. Yeah, my thought as far as elections are this. First of all, I think that the mail-in time frame should be 10 days before the election, not any sooner. 10 days. You've got a 10-day window to get your ballot. You have to have a reason. You know, it can't just be, well, I don't want to get up and go in and vote on election day. Then I think that election day should be expanded. And it shouldn't be, it doesn't matter about the Tuesday. It should be like a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That way, there's no excuse. Everybody can make it to the polls one of those 3 days, and they're the weekends. So, you know, if you work through the week, like most of us competent Republican, you know, right-leaning people, and you're not just getting a check from the government, then, you know, I think that, in that way, you don't have to take off from work. You go in and you vote on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday. But that way, in 3 days, if you go in person and you vote, and you have 10 days for mail-in votes, for the military and people that obviously have a reason, this fact that you're not going to be in town, if you planned a vacation during election week, then tough, you don't vote. And everybody should have to have a legal ID. We have to have them to drive cars. We have to have them to buy cigarettes. We have to have them to buy alcohol. We have to have licenses for so many different things. I don't think that it's outrageous to say you need something, with your picture on it, to be able to confirm that you are who you are. That way we don't have dead people voting.
You got to have that to go across the borders.
Yeah, so
Well, all that.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's arguing with you on that, but I don't.
I like the weekend thing too because a lot of people can't get.
And that's the
Right.
problem. A lot of people say, I can't make it. So if you do it on a Friday, you do it on a Saturday, you do it on a Sunday, or I don't care, you could do it on, Saturday, Sunday,
It should be
Monday.
just a It should be one big event that way everybody turns out. there.
3 days, and you could have everybody,
Well,
It's too much.
you would think you would be able to, but that's why you still have the 10 days in case those 3 days you're off.
and as long as
Yeah,
it's
'cause-
a valid excuse.
Like,
because
well,
these
Bill may be over the road.
That's
drug
right.
driving,
I agree.
so-
I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot of
but
people
10
that
days,
could be
10 days to
gone.
get your ballot and to get it, marked and to get it mailed back. That's plenty of time. You don't need these 30-day windows where all that happens is the wider the window, the more chance that dead people are going to vote, and you're going. And that's the problem. The problem is we don't know. But the only thing that we have left in this country that we can count on, or at least we think we can, is the ability to change things with a vote. So whether you're left or you're right or you're in the middle, if you can vote and you can change, what you're not satisfied with, then at least there's hope. But the minute people don't think that their vote really counts or that it's all rigged, that's when we're going to see
Well,
some
that's
civil
why-
war.
That's why you see such a low voter turnout now.
Yeah.
Because many people are already past that point.
Well, I think a lot of people.
And I'll tell
they're-
you another reason people don't vote is they don't want jury duty. They don't. I can tell you a lot of people that do not want to, go. I have never been called for jury duty.
Yeah.
Well, maybe once, but I was a teacher, so they let me off. But heck, I think it'd be interesting. I would.
Well,
do
it depends on the kind of, I guess, trial.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to be.
Some people wouldn't want, for instance, if it was a rape case or if it was a child molestation case, although usually they don't go to court. But I mean, if you were talking about just a good old fashioned murder or something like that, that'd be okay.
B&E, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to see something like the Scopes trial. That's what I would like to see.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't want to be controversial, but did you see what Barnes and
You
Nobles?
don't want to be
Do
controversial.
you see the book that they're selling on Trump?
What's
No,
that?
No.
It's Trump made out as a pig, and it's talking about Trump as a pig, and it's on sale at Barnes and Noble. Now you talk about what if
Is it like an allegory, or it usually uses the word Trump in the book?
I don't know whether Trump's actually in the book. It's if you give a pig the White House.
Animal Farm.
Yeah.
That's Sydney in the
More
background.
and more and more.
Yeah. Right. And it's actually a book that is being sold at Barnes and Noble. Now, first of all, I'm a big believer of the First Amendment. So if someone wants to write a book like that and they want to sell it, but let's just think, what would you do if at Barnes and Noble suddenly a book occurred and it was, maybe a monkey or an ape? And Barack Obama was the source of they'd burn the place down.
I'll agree with that.
They'd burn the place down. So, it's just the hypocrisy is just absolutely incredible. And that's the kind of stuff that really, gets me upset.
But there again,
I
let's.
got to play devil's advocate there for just a moment, because what if you see? Ugh,
Yeah, the pig is orange. It's an orange pig. Yeah, it's got Trump's face. It's obviously,
yeah, but when you
And if you had a monkey and it had big ears,
See,
and
I think that's racist. If if you had that, but I don't know if a pig symbolizing Trump is a racial slur, as would an ape or gorilla or something.
I don't know. I think they're both out there. They're both out there to induce, disgust or to get people inflamed.
Well, one's a hate crime.
No, there is no such thing as a hate
are you
crime.
out of your
This
mind?
is where there is no such thing. That was concocted just to throw, it's like when somebody, murders someone and you're charged with 6 different crimes, all related to murder because they want you to plead it out.
Sure.
So, the bottom line is a hate crime. There's no such thing as a hate crime because first of all,
I disagree wholeheartedly.
that's the problem. The hate crimes are never, if you have a black person and they do something to a white person, it can't be a hate crime. Well, if it can't be a hate crime, then there is no such thing as a hate crime because hate works both ways.
In every way. I don't agree with that.
Yeah. So the point is, so as far as I'm concerned, the thing with the pig is just as racist, unless you make him out to be a saltine or something and call him a cracker in the White House.
Well, here's the thing.
That would be I feel that would be a big racist thing, and I'd be that.
I would not be upset with somebody calling me a cracker.
But this is where
especially if it was a Ritz.
This is where we've got to look outside.
Townhouse.
We've got to look outside our realm of southwestern Ohio. Everybody, you got to realize.
You mean our experience?
Well, no, Trump. I'm going to tell you what. I love Trump. I'm going to vote for Trump. I have no problem with Trump. But
you don't have any choice.
Here's the thing. But now here's the thing. It's just like this. Like I'm talking about we live in a tale of 2 worlds right now. And Trump, before he ever got elected, most people thought that we're on that side of the aisle, and the elite, the Hollywood elite, they felt like he was just a big jerk before he ever got elected. And there was already the hatred for him. Then when he won, that even made it worse because it drove them crazy because they can't believe that people, and that's why what they call us, we were the deplorables, that voted. So I mean, on a bigger scale, you got to realize it's like I said, I love Trump to death. Trump has brought a lot of this on himself.
Well, sure, he's very abrasive.
His arrogance,
but he
uses
actions. That to his advantage, and that's the thing that most people don't. He's not subtle at any. He likes, which is why I appreciate him because obviously I'm sort of the same way. I like to just smack you in the face, and because you got to be woke up sometimes.
If this book offends him, he will use that book to help him.
That's true. That's true.
He's a businessman.
He's smart.
Turn every opportunity into something.
And the thing that people don't get about Trump is he'll set you up.
Yes.
He will purposely say something because he knows how you're going to react, and he's already thought this process out 2 or 3 steps.
So look what he's doing with the Joe Scarborough and the murder insinuations and all that.
I'm going to tell you what. The next week or two, just watch. Because you're going to start seeing people from the Obama administration start falling like flies. You're going to see Brennan go. You're going to see...
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of indictments.
Because and some of these people, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I don't know...
Comey for sure. Comey's
treason.
Yeah.
It's very treasonous what they've done. What Richard Nixon done pales in comparison to what Obama's groupies have done.
I will agree totally.
And you know what? All of them. Obama and Biden probably will escape from it. Biden maybe not because he's involved in it too. But with this Michael Flynn,
his thing with his son is going to bring him down.
This Michael Flynn stuff is just the tip of the iceberg. It's coming. Now I'm going to tell you what. Hold on, because there's going to be some earth-shaking things happen here in the next few weeks, where you're going to see like Brennan, Comey. You're going to see all the lovers, Strzok and Page. They're going to prison at the least, and they may even get tried as treason. Yeah, and they should. They should. And it's coming. And guess who's going to have the last laugh? Remember, everybody was laughing at Trump. Remember when Trump was running? They said, "Well, they're bugging my place." Remember that? They were, yep. and everybody thought he was crazy. Everything he has said has come to fruition, and people. It's just going to keep happening. And he's doing what he said. He's draining the swamp. Unfortunately, and I agree with this too, The swamp is not just Democrats.
No, the
is
swamp.
a lot of Republicans
You're right.
too.
Yeah, the rhinos.
And that's
Like our governor.
Okay, here's an easy one
Yes,
for
he
you
needs
all.
to go.
Yeah.
Just Google it because you guys can actually see this. Everybody out here can see it. How many years has some of our congressmen and
Oh, yeah.
senators have served?
Yep.
Their career.
Yeah. Well, the problem.
Anybody ever heard of term limits?
Yeah, but that only applies to the president. It doesn't apply to Congress. And of course, I don't know that it'll ever happen because they keep talking about this convention of states. But there's good things and bad things about that because if you're tinkering with the Constitution, you can end up with bad things, just like losing your right to own a gun or something like that. Right. So, you know, if from what I understand, because I don't know that much about the technicalities, but supposedly everything is laid out before they actually convene the convention. So nothing can change during the convention. It's just a matter of going in and getting things realigned.
But they got to get 2/3 of the states too.
That's right, and they're pretty close. But once again, I think the problem will be you don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, so to speak. So to get term limits, you don't want to lose guns or you don't want to lose something else.
I'm all for term limits, and I tell you, but I don't think senators serve 6-year terms, and I would say
12. 12 would be the most that I could see.
I could actually see 3 terms, but then I tell you what I would do.
18 years?
Yeah, that's plenty.
That's 2 decades.
But now wait a minute. Let me finish. The House of Representatives, I would shut them off at 16 years, and I would not make them run every 2 years because that's ridiculous.
Well, no, I think
they need to run every 4 years,
right?
Because
but I'll tell you something that's probably even different than that. I think that we should give the Senate back to the states, in as much as you were. I don't know if you're aware of it, but it used to be that each state appointed their 2 senators. They did not vote for them. And that way, the senators supposedly represented the state's interests, and the House represented the people's interest. I think we should, it's remarkable. It is absolutely remarkable, the document that they produced, back 240 some years ago, that it still today makes the most sense. And by changing it so that we elected the senators, I think we actually, we hurt ourselves. I think that, once again, there has to be that balance, and that's what that was all about. Back to the states, appointing
I have
them.
no problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't have it. Actually, I have no problem with that at all.
I mean, look at this way.
But if I was a Democrat, I'd have a problem with it because there's more Republican
Except
states.
that you look at this, you look at the rhino that we've had the last 2 governors. So you think that Sherrod Brown would have been one of the senators, and we'd have some other crazy leftist senator because.
Well, you got Rob Portman.
Yeah, but Portman was elected. What I'm saying is if you had DeWine actually appointing, or if the legislature, I guess that would be probably, I don't recall whether the governor actually did the appointing or whether the legislature voted and the governor then rubber stamped it. We'd have to go back and look at that. But I still think that, that would certainly help as well because, then you wouldn't have the whole Congress being worried about being reelected. The other thing is I think that we should just absolutely do away with lobbyists. There's no reason to have lobbyists. Now, a lot of people will say businesses have a right to be represented because businesses are entities.
Sure.
And they have people that they obviously have working for them, and they have people that invest in them. And so those interests to be heard, they have to have lobbyists. But I think that we lose more with lobbying than we do anything else. And the ultimate way to remove that is simply to say, okay, there's not going to be any income tax taken out of your check. We're going to make sure that there's no longer income tax. There's a federal tax, like a for instance, if I wanted to buy a Rolls Royce and I paid, 18%, that went to the federal government to run the federal government. If I was buying my Ford Focus, I would pay 18% on a Ford Focus. So, sort of like Europe has with their VAT tax.
Well, sales tax is.
Sales tax is the fair, even schools. I think that, why should you pay property tax?
But the Democrat argument, help me out. What's the Democrat argument to that is and I don't quite understand it, but they say it hurts the poor more than it does the rich. Is that?
Why would it?
I'm not sure. I
But
follow.
well, I just remember because I've argued that same point before with people, and they say that
When you talk about sales tax, a national sales tax, you could also still build in a waiver of so much money. So let's
You know,
just.
I think Norway. I want to say Norway has no income tax, but they have the sales tax. Is
The thing,
33% or something
when
like that?
when you send money to Washington D.C., you give power to the government.
Absolutely, money is
because you
power.
give power to Congress, and Congress makes the decision as to how much of that money comes back to where.
And that's where your lobbyists come in.
If you did away with income tax and you simply were sending a sales tax, first of all, we'd all realize just how much tax we're paying. So you don't realize it because it's out of your check
Yes.
before you actually get your check. So it's
Imagine, yeah.
yeah. So everybody looks at what they get as their check, and that's the money. They don't realize how much they're. And then when you look at all the other taxes that we pay on top of taxes on top of taxes. So if we had a national sales tax, I think that it would be a lot fairer. And you could still say, okay, if you earn under $25,000 a year, you get this much credit so that you don't literally pay any tax, or you get money back. Let's say you got back $2,500 in sales tax that you didn't have to pay. There are ways to be able to compensate that. But for the most part, I think that if you did away with income tax and people could actually see what they earned, and then they could decide, because when they have to raise tax, then you start complaining.
I don't know who it was, but somebody just put an angry face up while you were talking on that.
it's probably an ex-wife or something.
Not sure who it was, but no one wants to pay taxes. I mean, that's what's sad. Like, my daughter, she just graduated high school, and it's been interesting talking to her about how she's got her own job right now. How she just graduated.
She graduated.
Yeah, and she just wanting to figure out how money works. Well, she got her own car loan. I had to co-sign with her, but she got a car loan, and she understands now a little bit about interest, and she understands about credit rating. She was so excited because she looked up her credit rating after she made her first car payment, and she has credit now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, oh, wow, it's not zero anymore. I actually have credit. I said, yeah, now you got to raise that number up. You got to keep working on that. And but just I like she made the comment yesterday, and I'm not trying to pick on her, but that's just where her mind was at. She said something about $40,000. I'm not sure where the $40,000 came from. I think somebody maybe won on a game show we were watching. She goes, well, you could go buy a nice house for that, $40,000. And I got to talking to her, and I was like, well, you realize the house that you live in right now, if we were to sell it, would probably be about $95,000 to $100,000.
At least, yeah.
And she goes, really? And I said, now I got a couple rentals. I said, now this house I own over here would probably be about $40,000. Really? Well, that's not that bad a house. She started justifying it, but she just has no clue. Oh, she was looking at some houses too that were for sale. She showed one, and I said, let me guess the price of it. I said, $500,000. She goes, well, $499,000. I mean, she just.
It's like that one in Columbus you liked, Kim.
It's like.
Yeah, but it would have taken $400,000 to fix it up.
Yeah.
It's just, people just have no clue on money. And I told her, I said, I've made a mistake. I haven't
Well, young people don't.
Well, even older people. There's a lot of older people that have any clue either. I'm one. I've got too much credit card debt. I know that. But you sometimes, and right now, this is funny. I got an email from Discover the other day. It's one of my credit cards. And for some reason, Discover loves me because I pay them a ton of interest. But I thought, oh, crap, they're going to lower my interest rate because I've used it a little more lately because of the virus, They raised it $2,000.
You mean they raised your credit limit, $2,000?
Yeah, they raised the credit limit. Yeah, that's what I
you
mean.
were saying interest rate.
Right. Yeah, no,
If you're paying $2,000 in interest, you're in trouble.
Yeah, no, they raised the credit limit $2,000.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's like Fifth Third one time, and I'm just going to put it out there because this made me mad.
I don't like Fifth Third.
I went to Fifth Third. I just wanted like one that used to, it used to be when I was younger, you could go get 90-day notes, and I need $1,000 for 90 days. I'll pay you back after 90 days. If not, you just renew it and just keep paying it down.
That's what these payday places are now.
Well, yeah, but you pay a lot more.
That's true. 20.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, so I go to Fifth Third. I said, I need $1,000. You guys got any 90-day notes? Well, we don't do those anymore. So you got to fill out this whole loan application. Well, sir, you have too much debt to income. I said, okay, which my credit was fine, but the debt to income, they didn't like that. It's only $1,000. I thought, well, you buttheads. Then the next day, guess what I get in the mail?
Everybody wants
Credit card?
I got a Fifth Third credit card offer for not $1,000, but for $10,000. So you know what?
Yeah, but what was the interest rate? That's
It wasn't that bad, 10, but
no, that's not bad.
10, 11, something like that. So I took it, went to the bank, got my $1,000 on a cash advance, and went and.
Although cash advance, you pay more interest.
Yeah, I paid more on that. But what I'm getting at is, how can you not give me $1,000 one day and then the next day send me something?
Well, because they're two separate arms of Fifth Third.
Yeah, I know, but
Actually,
it just.
Fifth Third probably isn't even backing the credit card. But
It just-
no,
just ticks
it's
me
mind-boggling. But that's like figuring why is it they'll allow a pool to open but they won't allow a water park to open? Are you telling me that people are more crowded in a water park than they are in a pool? Well, it just depends on how many people you let into either, right?
Andy Henthorne, how you doing? Good to see you on there.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, little cuz.
But
Little cuz.
oh, he related to you also.
Yeah.
Andy,
All I want to know, Bill, is what is this? Your wife sends this that says, "I'm ready for you." What is that?
I have to get out of here at 9:30.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's why he's got
Bill's-
that
Bill's-
Don Ho.
Bill's got a hot date with the wife.
It does look like it.
Book 'em, Dano.
Look 'em, Dano. Well, I've been watching a lot out of Magnum PI. But I'm moving to town. I've never had cable before in my life until I moved to town. It's amazing.
And you're watching Magnum PI.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
yes.
they had the whole
those
show
old
yesterday
shows.
of Magnum PI.
Love them. Love them.
Kim has
You
led
would love
such a
Pluto.
sheltered life.
Really?
Yep, it's a free. It's like Netflix.
What is it?
It's free.
What is?
Pluto.
Oh well,
Yeah, I
and
got it.
IMDb.
I got it on the road.
IMDb is good.
Pluto.
Yeah.
You want to get
Okay.
Pluto?
Yeah.
I like
It's
that
free.
a lot.
Are you in school actually? Are you?
Yeah, Trinity Law School out of California.
Okay, so
yeah, I'm
you-
still in school.
Well, so you can get what's the deal, Sydney?
Microsoft Office 365.
Well, no, we're talking about you get like what?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I've got that free. Yeah, I got that. And
Yeah,
Spotify,
okay.
$4.99.
Spotify.
Student.
Oh yeah. That's premium. Spotify Premium,
Yeah,
Charlie.
because we're students. I'm all about
That's
it.
all I listen to in the
I've
car.
got Spotify.
There's
I'm
my
good.
Rush Limbaugh, all my talk shows. I never get a chance to listen to any of that anymore because the wife makes me listen to her Spotify playlist. Drives me crazy. It's no wonder I'm a mess.
Well, can't you split this up?
No,
Going to
no,
work-
no, she-
Going to work, you can
No,
listen to
no,
Rush
no.
Limbaugh.
That doesn't
Happy
work.
wife
makes
Charlie,
for
it
happy
doesn't work that
life.
way with my wife. Sometimes. That's only because I have to have my fix. Well, the only reason I listen to Governor DeWine because he's entertaining.
All right, guys.
I was doing that to car show the other day.
Hey, you watching the new one?
I don't want to hear nothing about
The new Forensic Files. Have you seen
it.
it?
Yes, I have.
It's decent.
Very good.
They're supposed to do some
Very
good stories.
Snapped. I like those. The first 48.
All right, we're going to take a break here.
Thank God.
I guess
go.
Bill's going to be late.
Starting to talk about TV. It's time to take a break.
I've never had cable before.
I gotta go, you guys. Y'all have fun.
Wild Bill
We're all
is
getting to
out
do
of
it again.
here. Wild Bill is out of here. So there you go. Everybody, we'll be back here in just a couple. her back, folks. And you might be wondering why we're talking in between because, we have Facebook Live going on also, but we have YouTube back and WZAA. And I tell you one thing about today's panel, it just keeps getting prettier. Look at that. We got Sydney now on here. Sydney and Kim. It's like we have.
We're thorns. We're thorns between two roses,
Exactly.
Charlie.
We have the thorns are in the middle, and we have the roses on the outside. So
I like that. The
Now-
thorns in between two roses.
no, wait.
That's-
Let me ask a question though, Sydney. Is it okay for you to be sitting next to your husband?
I would say yes.
Charlie just wants you to sit over by him.
Well,
I didn't.
I'll
say
stay
that.
here.
No, I just didn't know if you guys were going to get scuffling or anything. That's all.
I
Oh
don't-
no, we pretty much agree on just about anything other than what we play in the car on the radio.
He doesn't like my Spotify playlist.
Well, I mean, it's not. I
Neither
don't
does
like
my
it.
file
It's
name
it's
doesn't
just
like
that I don't like to hear it all the time.
It's only to and from work.
Somebody just told us on here.
all the
Actually, it's
time.
Bill Mahane's wife, and he was worried. She was worried because we're not 6 feet apart.
Well, someone tried to tell me yesterday on Facebook that I should wear a mask because World War II, the Great Depression happened after World War II because of a pandemic.
Okay.
Which is not
Yeah.
true, of course.
You should probably wear a
Yeah,
mask.
that's not at all.
Well, I mean,
Not because there was
Sydney
an
does have a lot of
economic
health problems.
collapse.
Yeah, because of your health.
You
But
know,
I'm,
because of World
you know, I'm
War
going to be
II, because of
67
the
next month. So I mean,
Holocaust, saving the
I have
Jews
as much
or
reason.
anything.
No, absolutely, yeah.
But we're as healthy
Wear a
as
mask.
The Second World War is what actually put the Great Depression down and brought the economy.
I asked her if the world was also flat.
There's a thing as flat earthers. Did you know that?
I know.
I learned that
I
from cable television. Flat earthers, they're real.
I told her to turn off CNN and read a book.
And I saw one the other day. I never heard of this one. Hollow earthers.
hollow earthers.
Yeah.
So what's inside?
People live
Hollow. Probably aliens. Well, that's a big thing too, where
Journey
aliens come
to
down
the
and
center
live
of the
underneath
earth.
the.
Well, there are aliens.
Are
you
they the
heard that?
Keebler elves? Is that where we get those cookies, the Keebler cookies?
That's the hollow tree.
That's the elves.
That's the hollow tree.
The only thing I will say about aliens, only thing, is in the old days before anybody could talk or write, they drew cave paintings, and in those cave paragraphs,
Drawings,
and in
yeah.
those drawings they had spaceships and things coming and descending from the sky.
Yeah.
They didn't know picture books. They didn't. What was that? How did they know to do that? You know what I'm getting at?
Well-
something had to come. They worship the sun. Something had to come.
Jonah-
Gods have always been heavenly bodies.
Putting religion aside,
If we can, yeah.
if you think about the billions and billions and billions of stars with billions of planets, there's got to be somewhere
Sure there
in the
is.
universe.
Sure there is.
And like Jonah and the whale, for example. A lot of people that are scientists even have said that that it could have been aliens. Well, that could have been a submarine at one time, and that would you could kind of make sense out of it. It's like in the Bible, there's dinosaurs mentioned, not dinosaurs, but dragons mentioned like 17 times, I think, in the Old Testament. So, all that stuff. I don't think. I think there's. I'm sure there's probably
There's
aliens.
a lot of
Well,
possibilities.
and
for
we-
a lot of things.
We don't know that those civilizations, however they've evolved, we assume that they have to be carbon based, so they're either insect that have developed but the point is, we don't have the ability to travel to other stars. And so there are probably some types of entities out there, and they have that same problem. They may be out there, but whether they visit the Earth, there may be a few that are highly developed, but we'd be too, I don't know.
My degree of certainty?
No,
I
it's like
don't
they might come to see you and then they'd say,
I don't
The
know.
world is kind of the thing.
yeah.
They don't want that to happen.
See, Trump's already ahead of all of us on this because we have
The Space Force.
and I got to throw this out there.
SpaceX is tomorrow,
Space
isn't it?
Force is also going to be a Netflix show starting on the 29th. Steve Carell, and it's got a heck of a cast in it. But I got to say this because this is cool. There's going to be a lady on this show. I don't know if she's on the whole show or not, but she's probably like in an extra part. Her name's Carolyn Wilson, and she went to Wilmington. She graduated from Wilmington College, and she's been acting bit parts. I've seen her on several TV shows. So anybody out there, Wilmington College, remember Carolyn Wilson? She's going to be on the Netflix show Space Force. So yeah, that is cool as heck, I think. And she's a wonderful person. She is nice lady.
I want to jump back real quick, and when you talked about the moon, just for 1 second.
The moon?
The moon. The
You want to see the moon?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
By the way, I am obsessed with the moon.
All right.
So there's that.
So there's this conspiracy theory. Let me put the tinfoil hat on from that maybe the real moon landing didn't really happen.
Well, it did.
Oh, yeah.
You saw the video?
That's not
Did
what I'm
you
gonna
see
get
the
at.
most recent
That's
video
not what
that's
I'm gonna
out?
get at. What my theory is this: if we've already been there, Graydon,
Right.
why
We have.
why we never go back? Why we never build?
But
anything
Trump
there?
wants to go back.
Well, no, wait.
It's been all these years
If you
since
look,
he first
if
got
you look
there.
on the NASA website, they just released a video. I don't know, in the last couple of days, and it basically, because we do have an orbiting orbiter that's going around the moon, mapping the moon, and it has a lot more degree of what it can zone in on, and it has looked for things like water, which we know exists on the moon now at the South Pole. But anyway, this video is very interesting because one of the things that it does do is it zooms in on one of the original landing sites, and you can actually see both the what was left of the orbiter on the surface.
Like the indents, footprints.
No, you see the actual vehicle. It's still there on the moon because, as you remember, when they leave the moon's surface, it breaks away from what actually lands them, and then goes and the rover. You could see the rover a few feet away from where that was. So you literally can see these as it zooms in. So that should put, unless you think that they completely concocted the video, but this is actually coming from this orbiter that
This
is
is
going
nothing
around.
I ever questioned until the History Channel, and I get to watch these things and these documentaries people are actually talking about. And then I want to say, John Glenn, I really, really feel he would not put his hand on the Bible and swear to God that he walked on the moon.
Well, John Glenn
John
never
Glenn-
did.
He never did.
What that John Glenn?
Neil Armstrong?
Whatever. I can't remember whichever was the first one. There's several up there, but he would not. He was like, he's still alive, and he would not swear. Like, and why wouldn't you do that? If you really did, wouldn't you believe in God and all of that? Why would you not? I mean,
Maybe he doesn't.
Believe in God?
Well, like you've got America and God in the '60s and patriotism and all of that. I mean,
Well,
There's a lot of people that don't.
I had certain, because there were compelling arguments as to why this was done, and they said that there was someplace in Nova Scotia or wherever where they had taped, it had, this, or maybe out in Area 51 they might have taped it, but ultimately, in looking at this video, that sort of put, at least for one landing, put that, to rest as far as for
But
me.
since you like documentaries, may I recommend Tiger King?
Oh, no.
I'm on the bandwagon. Like I've never watched
That's
Game
goofy.
of Thrones either. And instead of people
I'll
say,
tell
"Oh,
you
that's-"
something you'll like is Ancient Aliens.
I watch it all the time.
Yeah,
Who was
you'll-
this?
This.
Todd Blocker says, I thought the moon was made of
No, I
cheese.
can't go. The Ancient Aliens guy with the hair.
well, actually-
he's just so far out there. He's like Einstein with the crazy hair. You think?
But they make a lot of sense a lot of times.
Isn't it Google? If you do Google Moon, because you could actually Google Moon and like Google Earth. If you do Google Moon and you go all the way to the highest magnification, it turns into cheese.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do like cheese.
Yeah, I like cheese too. I think we've got some in the refrigerator.
And
We do.
Mahanes, he just likes to cut the cheese. No, I'm just kidding. Man, I'm glad he left. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We love you, Bill. We love you. And actually, you know what? Him and Heatwave, they both really are heroes of what's been going on. They were. I meant that earlier. They are heroes of this.
Well, because
crazy stuff.
they've been out through the whole thing. They've been out every day, as we have. I mean, we went to a protest and
Yeah,
filmed that
I
up
saw
in
that.
Columbus.
You went to a couple
we,
of them,
We
didn't
went
you?
to a restaurant that had been closed. Well, they were only doing the curb, and takeout and that. And we interviewed the owner, and that was a good interview. So we've done quite a bit here. A lot of it has to do with Sydney and her what she's going to Full Sail University for her master's degree. But anyway, and now she's investigating the University of Dayton Law School. That might be next on her plate. So And it would be like media and IT type of law.
It's called law and technology would be my concentration.
Yeah. Which
Oh, you're looking at going there.
yeah. Yeah.
I thought you said you were investigating, like you're looking into it like something was wrong with it.
No.
No,
You
I
threw me
actually
completely.
Well, after you've got 2 master's degrees, it's kind of pointless to, unless you wanted to get a doctorate in
Time to
something.
get a doctorate.
I'm going to get a doctorate in law. I haven't decided which.
I have a
You gonna get a doctorate?
No.
phone call
I got a
with
bachelor's
a
degree,
admissions
that's as far as I'm
counselor
going.
later today to potentially be in the fall 2020 cohort at the University of Dayton hybrid law program.
It's too bad she couldn't use her old LSAT scores because she did take the LSAT, about 6 years ago?
So 5, but I have to potentially be taking the LSAT again on June 8th.
They're not. That's changed to 5 years, so you could use your old scores.
I can't.
You
Nope,
can't.
it's expired.
Mine-
So I will
mine are
have to
from
take it
20.
again June
got a good
8th
score,
if
too.
I'm going to start.
I know she told me she got a great score. Yeah.
LSAT, the lawyer
fall.
test.
Yeah.
Yes.
Law school admission
That's what you
test.
need as far as to get into law
They're
school.
also accepting the GRE, but I
That's
did
what
not
I
take
heard.
the GRE,
I haven't
so
either, but I thought I might go that route. I only got a 139
So-
the last time on my LSAT. We took a break and we had lunch.
So
We
what's
did-
the
and
what's the good score for an LSAT?
155, 160 is phenomenal.
What was yours?
it's out of 180s.
Out of 180. 180 is the
What
most
was
you can
yours?
get.
172.
Dang, that's pretty daggone good.
Yeah.
I got a smart one here.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah.
Smart and pretty. You lucked out. You did. You drew the
Well,
bright
I
straw.
took it. I got a 145 on the practice one without ever even thinking about looking at anything. And we just went and took a practice test. I got a 145. So I think if I'd have just took the test one time without it, that's what I would have got.
Well, it's going to be interesting because they're actually offering it virtually. I can take it from my laptop,
Right. Yeah.
but they're going to be watching me through my computer camera the entire time.
Oh, that's weird.
So it's like creepy because like someone's watching me
When I
while
took
I'm
the-
taking it.
I
But
took the
it's
life
like-
insurance test.
I mean,
They had
it's
a
not like I
camera
need
right
to
I know,
cheat,
yeah,
but
that's-
it's like still awkward. Like you're watching me through my webcam. I mean, someone would be watching me in the room if I'm taking the test, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So
but
it's
not
not,
staring at you
but
full
not
time
like
like that.
staring at me through my webcam. So it's like less awkward.
You need to
I don't
have
know.
that song
It's
playing
weird.
in the background. Somebody's watching me.
I don't know. It's
That's a good
somehow more
song.
creepy to me to have
Well,
someone
and
watching me.
the good
through
thing
my
about
camera.
it too is, the law school is sort of a hybrid. So you'll attend class.
Half online, half in person.
That is so amazing. It never used to be like that. Law school's always you had to go because I mean, if online, I mean, you could fake someone else doing the work,
Yep.
or you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's really interesting.
Well,
that they
once
changed that.
again, with who knows where this virus, goes and how much it changes things. Because, I mean, obviously a lot of what we do at Campus Nation is college, high school, sports, or even at the semi-pro level. Nothing is going on right now.
Tell me about it. It's like my car shoes and
Yeah, it's difficult.
Amanda Schinkel says college is a scam. It's a joke from when I was on the show.
Yeah, well, Amanda has taken college since then? Or,
I don't know.
Or she just came
She
to that
says
revelation?
college is a scam.
Well, I would tend to agree, but it's like anything else. You have to prove,
Got to
yeah,
jump through them hoops, baby.
That's
Gotta
right.
Jump through them
yeah,
hoops.
that's part of the game you have to play. How much have I ever used my my degree in marketing from Wright State? I don't know. I mean,
probably used it more than what you realize.
Well, and that's probably true. But maybe when I was in school, which it's been a while, it wasn't quite as
Been a day or two, yeah.
it wasn't quite as pushed by ideologies, and but even then, there was still a certain. I mean, most of the college professors were more lefty than righty, and and we've had even that just happen at Wilmington College. Hit the Breitbart website for the professor and what she said to the young man that was
Conservative.
That's right.
My
But we know it
bachelor's
happens.
degree is in advertising.
Yeah.
And my second master's, which I'm getting right now, is in new media journalism, which is more of an internet-based marketing, which I use all the time.
Right.
And I have gone on full scholarship, and they actually sent me my computer, my camera, everything for free, and I have taken out $0
She doesn't
in
owe any
student
money.
loans.
That's the great thing.
So
She's
I
never
owe
she's never had to have a
zero
student loan.
to
Yeah.
the federal government.
Yeah.
So
So,
I regret nothing.
yeah. But her other master's degrees in education. And,
Which taught me how to be a better student. So,
well,
and I qualify to be a professor. So,
yeah.
There you go. And you can also substitute teach. If you want.
Yeah.
There you go.
it's
Anytime
useful.
you get-
I can't
You
I
can
can
do-
actually
you can
teach-
do that.
I can
Well,
do that.
yeah,
I can
just
teach
about
you
anybody that
colors.
has a bachelor's
So,
degree.
You can do that even
It's
if you
useful.
got a bachelor's degree.
I do.
So you could substitute teach right now,
Yes,
even
I
in
could.
high schools and junior high.
But look at it this way, Kim. You could also be an officer in like one of the military services.
It's like, thank you, but no
don't
thank you.
think that would maybe work.
Kim and I are like,
Just saying. Just saying.
I wouldn't want to be a teacher. Oh gosh, no. Could you imagine? Well, I mean,
I
today.
would want to teach a class of students who wanted to be there.
Yeah, but
I
That's
would
the
like
other
a
thing.
freshman
I'm
thing.
like-
I would like to teach at a higher level.
You,
So,
you
know,
couldn't
they're-
do high school then because
I
most
would
of
not
those
want
kids
to,
don't.
really.
I mean, some kids want to learn, but
Most of them don't. They don't want to be there.
and even at the college level, except that they're paying for it, or if they are paying for it,
They don't get serious their freshman year. I don't.
No, I'm going to tell you what. Now in high school, it just depends. Because I've subbed at schools, and I'll be honest with you. One thing about subbing, it's really opened my eyes how different schools operate and work. I tell you what, the school district we're setting right now in Miami
Trace, yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, it's nothing but class.
well,
it's nothing
and of
but
course,
class.
fortunately, you kind of.
students, teachers.
Your timing was at a good time too, because for those people that don't understand or don't know anything about the Miami Trace School District, first of all, it is a rural school district. It's the second largest in size in the state. But their new campus, where they've located all their schools and just finished
nice,
a new high school back in January, just redid their sports facilities. Now it's first class.
Not even the facilities. The facilities are first
Well,
class.
I
but the
think that
kids are
the
nice.
environment has a lot to do with that, though,
The
Charlie.
kids are really nice. The staff's really good. I tell you what, I've subbed. I'm not going to mention the name of this school, but I've subbed another school where I had history classes one day, and the first class I walked in, there's about 20.
They
of
still
them.
teach history?
Well, no, wait a minute. There's about 20 of them, and I was talking to one kid. He had tattoos up and down his arm, and he seemed like one of the less.
Interested?
No, less, I want to say, threatening kids in the room. So I started talking to him. And
Was this a prison you were teaching in?
I liked his tattoos, and we got to talking. And he
Wait,
said,
these are real
"Go ahead."
tattoos?
Oh yeah, he's only 15, but guess what? He's only been arrested. He told me about 12 or 13 times.
So that's why he has
And
12 or 13 tattoos.
Now listen to this. Over half of the class was on probation. He told me. Now, I believe it because he's the one I felt comfortable talking to.
Gosh.
And but then the next class come in, and it was like a college freshman class. I mean, these kids were on top of it.
So they were like a
So
college
this was
prep
AP
class.
history, I take it?
Yeah, and they come in. I said, "All right, normal kids this time." I said, "I felt like I was just in juvie, and now I've got no." And they looked at me and went, oh. Then they realized, "Hey, you're right." They realized they remembered who the class was before me, and they were. I mean, that class was.
So, did they put all the same, those types of students in one class?
I think so. Another class I subbed in the same school.
Did you get hazard pay?
They were supposed to have. I should have. They were supposed to have like 20 kids in first period, and again, about a third of this class was on probation, and every day, like 20 is supposed to be there. We might have 10 to 12 there. I mean, it's just so much
So
absenteeism.
we've got about 7 minutes left before the broadcast. I want to get your thoughts, everyone's thoughts on the coming school year, both at the high school level and the college level. Do we think, first of all, that we're probably going to have a school year? And if we do we want this, like Wilmington, I think, wants to do 2 days a week in school and the rest of the days at home? And does it make any sense to open a building, to run school buses? It's like, we got the money, we might as well spend it or something. I don't know. Would it be better to do online completely? Are teachers worried that if it's more online, they're going to do away with a lot of administrative and teaching positions? Is it a union thing?
Integrity as well. Do the classes at home. Can the kids be trusted to do their own work?
Right.
Well, we
Everybody
know
else
that
do it.
a lot of them aren't. We know that from the standpoint of logging in, a lot of them aren't. But so what do you think, Kim? You think that we're going to have a school year in the fall?
If they have already suspended the Ohio State Fair, which is the beginning of August, I mean, I would absolutely say they're going to go that far. But you guys said that supposedly this virus, I know there's a virus, but I can't get on board with the. People are not dropping like flies in front of my face, and the hospitals are not overcrowded.
It's because where we live.
Because of where we live. So I can't get on that wagon. Different parks should have different restrictions.
I agree.
Well, and I don't even, when you say it's because of where we live, I mean, we were at hospitals in Kettering, we were at hospitals at OSU, and they were still empty. So we're talking Dayton and we're talking.
Ohio.
Yeah.
New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, all those places that are people living on top of each other and all that. I get that.
Yeah. Well, we knew they were sick all along anyway. They've been sick for years.
You're talking about being touched in the head.
Let me get back to your question here. Wilmington College, according to the emails Crystal's been getting, they're planning on opening up classes.
But do you think that they're just saying that because they want to make sure people sign up? Because a lot of kids are saying, if I've got to go online, I'm not going to go.
Liberty has already been going. Liberty University has been going for the last 2 or 3 months.
That's a conservative campus.
But they haven't had any big uprisings either.
Well, no, but that doesn't matter to the liberals.
But Wilmington College is supposed to be opening. Now, Crystal was supposed to have a class this summer, in class, and then one online. Both of them got moved to online. And what I'm hearing about the local schools, and none of this is set in stone, the elementaries, they think it'll work out pretty well with, like splitting the days up, like Monday, Wednesday. But, another thing people aren't even thinking about.
Masks.
Child care.
What about masks?
Child care. No one's
What
thinking
about masks?
that.
You think a young kid's going to wear a mask all day long?
No, I think they're going to spread them out. I think that's why they're splitting
And
them
no
up.
mask?
Yeah, if you're 6 to 8 feet apart, you should be okay.
Okay, but so you're thinking that they're not going to force masks
I
on the
wouldn't
kids?
think so. Okay. But I tell you, the problem's going to be, I think that works great in the elementary, but middle school and high school, I don't see it working. So middle school and high school, I don't know.
They're going to rebel against that?
No,
Or
I just think about the way things. I mean,
I don't understand.
They're talking about having football. I know that already. Then the OHSSA, high school OHSSA.
Is it going to be an empty stadium?
Well, they've talked about that. I've heard that discussion, but they are opening it up where you can even play football. You can get trained for football and basketball. You can train for all of that right now. So
Actually, I think the date's already here. What do you think, Sydney? You think we're going to have a?
I mean, I think it sounds silly to send kids to school a few days a week and then have them at home a few days a week. Either send them to school
Or keep them home.
or keep them at home.
It's easier
I
on
think
the
it's
parents.
ridiculous
I agree.
because it makes it difficult for the parents to figure out what their work schedule is going to be.
Yep.
It makes it difficult for the children to figure out what days do I need to go to school, what days do I need to be on the
agree.
computer.
Well, they've estimated that at
you
least
know.
30% of the students will not go back to school. The parents are going to make arrangements to homeschool them or to keep
I
Also,
them.
think-
some of
I
us
think
live in
homeschooling's gonna go way
rural
up.
areas where the internet's not so great. What if you can't get online all the time and have the
Hotspots.
internet to
Yeah, all you can do is
use
hotspot.
your Chromebook or whatever and
tell
do your
you-
homework?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this right now, but I think if we do this again, which I'm kind of hoping we do, one thing I would personally like to learn more about, I don't know much about it right now, but I've seen all these different stories of bad things mainly, is 5G. And I don't know a whole lot about it, and I'm honest about it. I don't really have an opinion
As
on
best as I can tell you from a technical standpoint, I don't think that 5G is going to burn the flesh off your body. I don't, and I'm not saying that radio waves from phones up to your head or, that there aren't emissions that probably,
Right.
but I don't, people aren't going to fall over from 5G.
Well,
Also,
cell
it's not
towers.
readily available everywhere right now
I
anyway,
saw-
so that's
In Europe,
it's not an eminent concern
Well-
in the United States right now.
She just said in Europe it's been outlawed. I saw like a picture today. It was on, I don't know, it was on Facebook or where it was. Maybe it might have been on Twitter, where they had all these dead birds in Italy, and they were wondering if it wasn't the
No, that's
5G.
probably from the windmills, but the
I mean, it's in the middle of
wind,
town.
the wind. But
Okay, Greta.
Here's the thing. 5G obviously doesn't go as far as the broadcast, so you have to have them closer together. But as far as a frequency or anything else, We're talking microwave for any kind of Wi-Fi. It's at a microwave level. So obviously there is cellular
I know
changes.
Trump's pumping it. He
Well,
wants it.
the main reason that it was outlawed in Europe and that a lot of people are against it is because the people that the Chinese are the ones that are on the forefront of that 5G technology.
We can't trust them with anything.
No,
right
because
I know,
they
it's like, hey,
they will
let's
be
hand our
stealing
concerns over
all
to
that
them.
information right off the 5G signals. You won't be able to complete cell phone calls or anything else without them, knowing everything. And they probably do anyway, but yeah.
China,
All right.
there, baby. So I tell you what, they need to pay. Somehow they need to pay for all this.
Well, we owe them a lot of money. Maybe we could just say, forget it. We're not paying them.
They need to pay for all this.
Well, this has been fun.
It was.
Yeah.
Cindy, what do you think of your first experience with the morning show?
It was interesting.
Yeah, I told her, I says, this has been quite the event over the years. And so a lot of people were anticipating, I don't know, I didn't get to talk about my sex robots or anything like that. We'll have to,
That's
He
a good
doesn't
thing.
have
we'll have to
any.
carry that up on another.
You're married now. You don't need those.
Well, I mean, there's an interesting development. They're going to start using sex robots for Hollywood people. They're going to do away with the Hollywood types. It's going to be sex. There's a sex robot that actually has like 200,000 Instagram followers.
Didn't know that.
They are she's an Instagram robot, and she has 200,000.
I did not know that.
So, and I only have how many followers do I have? 3.
And I think it's like
I leave the
me,
social media to my.
Campus Nation and WZAA.
You need to. I'll follow him on Instagram.
And I think Charlie maybe.
I'll follow you
No,
on
Charlie doesn't
Instagram.
follow me.
I
Okay,
can.
well,
I didn't know
that's
you had Instagram.
Yeah, it's the real Rick Phillips.
Oh, the real.
The real.
Well, you know what
because
mine
he
is,
thinks
don't you?
there is
Yeah,
also
the
someone
Ohio
else
gentleman or
named
Yeah,
whatever.
mine's
Rick
it.
Phillips.
Yeah. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm the Ohio gentleman.
I'm the real Rick Phillips.
A friend of mine, well, I wasn't a friend, but this guy had his. He calls himself the Virginia gentleman. I thought that's cool, so I stole it for Ohio. I'm the
Yeah.
Ohio gentleman.
Yeah, especially from Virginia. All right, well, it is.
Yeah, I
the
was. My
witching
mom was
hour.
Virginia. How the hell did you know that?
Bye, everybody.
It was great to
Bye.
be here, and thank you
Yeah, it
very
was
much
fun.
for having me back.
Everybody that's not in Facebook world, we'll be back maybe. If Rick wants us back, we'll come back a day. Who knows when? It's been 2 years, so we'll see. Have a good one.